You heard it here, folks. And you didn't, except I didn't hit the record button. Brandon will never play another Atlas Shin Megami Tensei game again.
Oh no! I
It's
just
over.
realized something.
That Brandon's not going to play an SMT game again?
No, I have to mention Destiny. I
Oh.
really
You totally will.
I don't want to.
Again, we cannot escape.
We can't.
This is not a Destiny podcast.
You will mention it.
I have to, because I'm like, I'm gonna talk about Warframe and how it's so much better than Destiny, and I was like, I can't wait. I was like, I can't wait to talk about Warframe.
Really
How much
cannot escape. Mention
it can't.
Destiny.
Yeah, every single podcast, like we have to talk about Destiny and how much Destiny's meh.
I mean, the thing is, man, like, when I get a PS4, I'm gonna get it, and I'm probably gonna be like, it's a pretty good shooter. It's just missing a lot of content.
Yeah, see that's the thing. Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Oh,
They're gonna put out a fucking.
Did you hear that
another one.
Ubisoft finally canceled the Unity Season Pass?
Damn it! I was gonna
We'll
say,
get
we
to
need
that.
to get to news.
We'll get to that. We will
Yeah,
totally get to that.
I really want to start talking about news on this show because I think news is really
We
interesting.
totally
lately.
should.
News is
Yeah.
fun when you pick the good
News
stuff.
is good.
When you don't have to
Like,
talk
it's
about
not
the
like-
stupid shit.
No, it's not like we have to go through every single thing, but like the big shit that happened.
The really important oh snap shit.
I mean, there's like two things of news I could bring up.
Yes.
So, since we just decided we're going to do this at this exact moment, I think if you have a piece of news, just be ready to pull it up. I got to. First, though,
Oh, I got
welcome to the Texture Pop Late Intro. My name is Sam, and with me we have the full cast and crew this week. Mr. Garrett Glaziski,
Hello.
Mr. Chris Sacharia.
I don't have anything clever to say. Insert funny quip here.
Yes. And Mr. No More SMT Games, Brandon Lee Carey.
Lightning arrived at IGN HQ. She throws a bucket of water on it and twerks away.
Final Fantasy 13 got really weird after Chapter 11, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
That's as far as I got, but apparently shit got pretty real.
I mean, in her defense, it is IGN. They did deserve it. That bucket of water that was thrown on the HQ.
It's funny because I was talking to a coworker of mine earlier tonight, and he was talking about IGN reviews, and I just had this weird subconscious thought. I was like, that's the only person I know who reads IGN. It's like, I don't even maybe IGN's fucking awesome these days, but like, I just gave up after like I was like 13 or something like that. I just said, fuck it.
I know a friend of mine that he used to follow them, but I don't know. He wasn't digging it. Just
Yeah.
and neither was I.
Like when I did read them, I was like, this is comparable, or competent, but I was like, but there's so many other sites out there that I'd rather be reading. To be fair though, I'm pretty selective as far as my reading sites, like stuff I actually get news and articles from.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna play favoritism, so I'm not really gonna bother naming them. But anyway, viewer question this week from Daniel Z.
Yep, let me get to that.
Oh, would you like to read it?
Sure.
Okay. You want me to read the first paragraph and you the second, which I know you're dying to read, or you just want to read?
No,
the whole
I'll
thing?
read it all. I can do
Okay.
it.
Make sure you have the right inflection.
Wololo! First off, I am glad Sam is playing Freedom Wars,
Oh
as
yeah.
it's quite good and went almost entirely unpromoted by Sony. Personally, I've been playing Smash Bros. Wii U and Freedom Wars. I really enjoy this game's writing and its dedication to the Panopticon and its laws.
Panopticon. Yeah.
I've cursed and laughed at some of the things you get penalized for, i.e. running away for more than 5 seconds. I've also been trying to finish the original Shantae, a great Metroidvania-style game, so I can move on to Shantae Pirate's Curse. Since Valkyria Chronicles released on the PC, which touched on last episode, it got me thinking, what do you guys think of Sega? I know they've released some good games in the past. Rhythm Thief, Valkyria Chronicles, Yakuza, Phantasy
Yes,
Star,
yes.
Shining Series, and plenty of other IPs that haven't seen a new game in years. Now, they all seem to leave those games in Japan in favor of yearly, half-assed Sonic games and Hatsune Miku. Quote, for the weeaboos and hipsters. No offense, Sam.
To be fair, Hatsune Miku is a relatively new game.
I am holding on to the thought that Sega might have outsourced its localization of these titles to Atlas since they acquired their parent company, Index Corp. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Thanks for reading.
Wait.
So the question is, what do you guys think of Sega?
What do I think of Sega? I think they made some really cool old school games, and if they're continuing to make games in Japan, that's awesome. They don't want to port them because I don't know. The only games they're porting are the shitty ones because I guess they hate us.
Are you saying the Hatsune Miku Project Diva F2 is a shitty port?
Yes.
I don't know, man. She was on Letterman.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a rhythm game.
Oh.
I mean,
I believe what happened is that Jeff Gertzman saw how they censored the undercrotch, and then she's like,
the
and
undercrotch.
then he went, "Oh, I want my money back."
I mean, I guess there's I'm seeing this the way you asked it from like a localization perspective, which the two ways to look at it is either Sega's doing a shitty job localizing like their choice of localizations, whereas I see it from the optimist perspective, which is at least they're doing anything. Like, they could probably just as easily be like, fuck it, we're just never going to bring Yakuza over again. We're never going to bring any Miku games. Like, when I read the PS Plus post, they were like, look, like, the last Miku game sold just enough to get the next one overseas, so if you want it, buy it. I was like,
or fucking, Phantasy Star Online 2, something that I'm sure
is really odd to me. Because it's in English, isn't it? In Asia?
I think
I want to say
either
that was the weird part.
Somebody came out with like a patch for it.
Oh yeah, well there's an official patch, but I thought the whole big thing was that it's been translated in English officially. They just haven't localized it.
I don't know,
which is weird.
But me personally, I don't think they really know what they're doing. No, like they've been remaking Sonic how many times? Like they've been acting like they need to reinvent him every single time, especially recently with Sonic Boom when Lost World.
Someone's been reading Jim Sterling.
Well, yes,
I mean,
but he has a point. He has a point.
It's true.
Lost World, which was a Wii U exclusive, wasn't that bad, and it wasn't that long ago. And yet, for some reason, Sega feels like, well, we need to reboot this thing and give it a thing for new audiences. Blah blah blah.
These were bandages.
Remember.
Needs bandages on their fucking shoes.
Like, remember, I think it was a few years ago when... I think it was a few years ago when Sega just decided, we're going to have a contest for people to come up with a new mascot. Remember that?
I don't remember this at all, actually, even though...
No, they seriously wanted people to try to come up with a new mascot. And, of course, people were pissed. Rightfully so. So... yeah, Sega feels like they keep needing to reinvent Sonic all the time. And now they're doing this whole thing where it's like, well, we're doing a multimedia thing because we got a cartoon to go with this video game. And it's like, and already, if you've seen anything about Lost World, you know it's shit. And fucking that cartoon, from what I have heard, is not that great. I just can't help but feel like it's pissing away money, but...
as for my answer to this question, what do I think of Sega? I don't. I don't think of Sega. After how they just abandoned Valkyria Chronicles and after how shit all their games are that they released over to America, I don't think of them at all. They're really not an equation for me. I don't buy games from them because I don't have no reason to. Not until they actually get out of their asses and get something good out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my fault. I don't think about them at all. They're not worth my time.
Yeah, it's... I mean, hell, they didn't want to even bother with Bayonetta 2. Nintendo had to do that.
And I mean, with Valkyria Chronicles in particular, like when they put that game to the PSP, they destroyed really all the best things about that game. Like just not even just from the looks, from the game design perspective as well. It destroyed that game.
Was that article that you linked a week or two ago, which is like Valkyria Chronicles was the right sequel on the wrong platform?
Yeah. On that put that on Twitter. Say Eurogamer editorial that talked about that. And basically, like the thing with Valkyria Chronicles, there were huge, wide open spaces that the PS3 could render very well. The PSP can't do that. It's physically not capable of it. So when they ported to PSP, because PSP is very popular in Japan, like in America and Europe, it's not a very popular system. In Japan, sells tons. So when you port to the PSP, you are basically saying, "Fuck you guys from the outside. I want here to Japan and Japan alone."
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I honestly wonder if Sega as a company still knows what it's doing. You know, the same way it's basically the same opinion I have of Capcom, which people who worked at Capcom would probably tell you I don't think they know what the fuck they're doing.
There's this thing with the Japanese companies that they are unable, or I guess not able, unable, more like unwilling to adapt to the modern day gaming climate. Like, 'cause in Japan, it's a whole different ball game to the way it works in America. In Japan, portable gaming is the biggest thing. Portable gaming consoles, the 3DS, the Vita, those are the top dogs. The PS4, the Xbox One, none of those sell that well in Japan.
Wait, not even the PS4?
No, not really. No, if you look at the PS4 sales, they don't do that well in Japan. Like, portable gaming is top dog.
PSP still sells, and yes, I said PSP,
true.
not Vita.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
It's because of Monster Hunter. From my understanding.
And Monster Hunter's pretty big.
And that paradigm is fundamentally completely different from the American paradigm.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you know, you mentioned Monster Hunter. I mean, there was a reason Nintendo went through that effort of getting Capcom on their side with wanting to get Monster Hunter on the Wii U and 3DS. Like,
so it's not just Sega, but like most of the Japanese companies, they haven't really adapted because they don't understand fundamentally what the outside audience is. They know Japan because they live there, but they don't understand really what we as consumers outside Japan want.
I mean, granted, the 3DS has a pretty good presence here in the States.
Yeah, it still sells. That's why they're not releasing the new one in America.
Yeah, but that's a whole other can of worms entirely. But.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. You know, they'd be cannibalizing themselves if the old one's still going to sell. But we're talking about Sega.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then I started ranting about just Japanese companies in particular.
Yeah, just they don't know
in the general sense.
I think I'm turning Japanese.
But yeah, as for Sega themselves, I don't think about them because they don't want to think about me. So I waste my time.
No, they told us a number of times they don't want our money, so fuck them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I bought the new Hatsune Miku from Sega. I feel no shame.
They don't want my money. They don't give a shit. They'll take your money.
And to be fair, though, I feel pretty good about supporting anything that's, like, from Japan. We localized it like that, Yakuza and stuff like that. I don't really care for the random shit that they publish, but if it's, like... I'm all for, like, bring more shit from Japan.
I will say, if they had brought Valkyria Chronicles 3 to the States, I'd be on that. No question.
And there's some stuff that I've enjoyed from Sega that, while they did not develop it, they at least, they published it. Binary Domain, the original Bayonetta, and Vanquish, those are great fucking games. I don't care who you are. And regardless of what anybody says about Binary Domain, I will play the shit out of that.
It's a great game.
And Valkyria Chronicles 2, it's on the PSP. It's not a bad game by any means. It's just when you compare it to its original, the Valkyria Chronicles 1, it's no contest. The first one's better in almost every way.
Yeah. Although, I hope that answers his question. Sam, where should they email to if they want to ask us more questions?
Why, Chris, I'm glad you asked. They can email thetexturepop@gmail.com with questions. That would be thetexturepop@gmail.com.
Do you know when Jeff and Brad make those obviously scripted ads on Giant Bombcast?
Yeah, I know.
This feels a lot like that.
I mean, I do it on purpose.
Why not?
It's because I just want to tell advertisers I'm really good at the acting.
There is a certain charm in just being fully aware that you're making an ad and just reveling in that.
Hey, advertisers, we're free.
Are you tired? Are you tired of having to trim your toenails? Well, now you don't need to worry about that anymore with the new and improved
Slave
some shit toenail tripper.
That too.
Did you ever see that ad for a product called the Vaxwack?
Yes, I think
where this guy he's putting a Q-tip in his ear.
Yeah, I know this one.
Ow!
Yeah, this guy like.
How many people actually do that? Like, I've done that maybe once in my entire life.
I've heard that that's like super bad for you though. Like in Q-tips in general.
You're stupid. I know when I put a Q-tip in my ear, I have the feeling of touch.
Yeah,
I can't feel anything anymore or hear anything.
And I know when to stop pushing it in.
Like it's one of those ads that is clearly advertising a solution to a problem that no one actually has.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really just this thing of like they come up with these problems to try to get people to buy shit. Like, are you tired of looking for batteries for your flashlight? And it's in black and white. This lady's hair's
I
all
always
frizzed.
love that.
And she's
Where
like
they're in
cabinets.
perfect black and white, and it's like, man, how terrible a life
Of course,
is in black and white.
She fucking falls down a flight of steps. It's like wah wah wah.
I broke 17 bones. If only I had batteries.
Yeah, well now you've got the shake light. Like,
Of course, the as a result, the market for parody ads on YouTube is phenomenal.
I wonder if you can
Yes.
attach a vibrator to a shake light to make the light shake. But then you need to power the vibrator. That's a whole different problem.
There
you
was
know, it's like, you own it for like 3 months and it doesn't.
Like,
even
I remember
charge,
the,
you gotta keep shaking it. Like,
You guys
There
remember
was-
the Snuggie and all that, right?
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Do you remember
Yeah.
the what the fuck blanket ad that was on YouTube?
No.
Yes.
no.
It's the what the fuck blanket.
It's for shut-ins
Yeah.
never leave the house.
Well, it's just like me then. If I don't go to work, I'm here.
Take it to your kid's soccer game and embarrass them in public.
Yeah, yeah,
I can do that with
yeah.
that
I was,
blanket.
Sarah's
Oh,
like getting a
stop.
date for the prom. Look at her.
I was just about to say that. There was a whole channel that all they did was just overdub the those infomercials.
Oh, God.
God, it
We're
began
a
with
video
a
game
J. I can't remember.
podcast.
Are we, though?
There was I love that one where it's like, are you tired of your Tupperware? And the woman opens up the cabinet and just a flood of Tupperware that is, could not fit in that small cabinet just comes out at her like a clown car. Like you're like, that's not
Yep.
possible. Yeah, it like just floods on her and it's like, well, you're doing it wrong, dumbass. Buy this. And it's like the little snap thing.
Oh man, that's great.
Uh,
So here's a question, Brandon.
Yes.
When you played Assassin's Creed Unity, did you buy a season pass?
I did not.
Really?
Yeah, we
Really?
know Brandon. He loves season
Oh,
passes.
have
He was
I got
one years
news
ago.
for you.
Yeah. You have news for me, Chris?
Yeah, because you don't need to buy that fucking season pass. That shit is free now.
It is fucking incredible.
wait a second. What if you bought the season pass?
You get Far Cry 4.
No, you get a choice of Far Cry 4, Watch Dogs,
Or The Crew.
Black Flag, Rayman Legends, or Just Dance 2015.
Which means you'll get Far Cry 4 because all the other choices suck.
Hey, if you never played Black Flag, that's not bad. Rayman Legends is a
If
fantastic
you never
game.
played Black Flag, buy it on Amazon for $10.
Well, then get fucking Rayman Legends, because it's the shit, man.
I will play it on my Wii U.
Yeah.
Any game that isn't the Crew, yeah.
So is this the
All-
part
all
where I
those
can have
choices.
my big reveal? That last night I bought Assassin's Creed Unity,
Holy
shit.
which
shit!
is like right after this went up. And
On
all
your
of this-
PC?
Yeah. So now I'm kind of sitting here wondering, I was like, do I qualify for this?
Did you?
I was
You
gonna make a
should.
joke.
Yeah,
I didn't get the
it
season pass,
It
but you
doesn't
get
matter.
The DLC
All the
for free.
DLC is free no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you-
so it's just
they-
if you purchase it, the DLC's free now.
Yeah.
because
If you bought
gotta,
the season pass, you get the game. But if you didn't, you just get the free DLC.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair
Because-
though, that's pretty good if you bought the season pass, and then you get a $60 game in Far Cry 4, which is arguably pretty fucking
Which is the
awesome.
only one you really
Yeah.
should be getting.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd argue for
that's-
Rayman, but like as far as value, like Far Cry 4 being the newest and best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although the big thing to me is that you have to love the fact that at one moment Ubisoft was saying, well, we need to review our review policies for games and how they're reviewed because we don't think they did a good job. And now you have saying, okay, look, we fucked up. Here's some free content, and we're going to try to, make this better. Because aside from like any kind of bugs and shit that game had, the biggest piss-offs for me to where this was a $60 retail product and they still have all this free-to-play bullshit in there. Like, the way the microtransactions kind of beat you over the head, the way that you have to have this fucking companion app to open chests. Like, what the hell?
To be fair, only some chests need the companion app. Some of them you can just
You
open.
got regular chests, you got lock chests that require the lockpick skill, you got blue chests with the companion app, you got
And you have
black chests that
initiate
you need a
chests.
real person for, you got green chests that require your mother to show up and open it for you, you got the gray chests that require multiple consoles, you know, all kinds of great chests. It's chests the game.
Oh man, it's just so dumb. Look, yeah,
And then there's the chest you need to get the fucking initiate social media account to open.
wow.
So it's kind of funny
Yeah,
that, like, the two ways to spin this is either, like, or rather, the two ways I've seen in the comments are either, one, hey, that's kind of a nice gesture, you know, you fucked up, you're giving away free stuff, you know, I appreciate that. Or two, like, fuck you, Ubisoft, I still hate you. Like, that's the only two ways I've seen it, is either, like, I accept your
I mean, to
generosity,
be fair,
or
offering
you are the
Far Cry
worst.
4 for free is a massive gesture.
Well, in The Crew, it's not even out yet. You know, you can debate
Who
about the
cares
quality of
about
that, but that's
No
not even a game
cares
that's
about
out.
Crew.
Like, to be offering games that are literally, like, a week old for free, if you paid, what, it's like, well, your season pass probably like $30 now, they used to be $20.
On the other hand, in the words of Yahtzee Croshaw, Assassin's Creed would be a great game if it didn't hate the people who are playing it. In other news, I'd be a wonderful person if I didn't have a bad personality.
So, I guess the thing I'll ask, though, is, like, which way do you guys spin this? Do you still think Ubisoft is, like, fucking terrible? Do you appreciate the gesture? Do you
No,
mix
Unity
the
is
two?
not the worst game in the world. It's pretty egregious.
I guess the question I'd rather phrase is, do you think this makes up for the technical problems, also counting the fact that they're trying to fix it?
Yes.
Because I would also say, yes,
yeah.
offering free shit, you know, it's one thing to say we're fixing, it's another thing to say, look, we'll try to offer you some paid shit. And the fact that it's not even that they're just giving away the season pass, they just said, fuck it, you cannot buy it anymore. I kind of appreciate that.
Yeah,
Just say, like, we're not even gonna underhand charge you for this stuff.
Yeah, because, like I said, this was a $60 retail product, and it had all this other bullshit that they're still asking you for more money for shit that's already in the game.
Melting faces.
Like you know, we've been over, you know, a number of times why microtransactions just totally did not need to be in Dead Space 3. Brandon, you have gone into depth about
I wrote an
why
entire article about how that one thing broke the entire game.
Yeah,
Chris, when are we
absolutely.
gonna finish Dead Space 3?
Never, because it's a bad game. You shouldn't play it.
Oh, so
Fuck
when are
it,
we-
after
when are we
this
gonna finish-
podcast.
When are we gonna finish Colonial Reigns, then?
We will do it after the show, motherfucker.
We should start
We
playing
will
it during
fucking
the
do
show,
it.
that'll be even better.
Oh, God. That's the next video podcast.
But Sam,
We're-
don't you have Dark Souls 2 to play?
That's true. If you want to talk about the next news, I don't know if we're still on this.
Oh
You
shit.
want to talk about Dark Souls?
Oh, let's talk about
Lay it
Dark
on me.
Souls.
Hey guys, fucking Dark Souls Game of the Year edition coming out on next gen consoles. Except they call it Dark Souls Scholar of the First Sin. And it's funny because as a lore person, I have no idea what the fuck that means.
Wait, you see, like the second game, right? That's
Yeah, it's Dark Souls 2. Sorry.
okay.
Scholar of the First Sin, which is funny. But it's funny when I first saw that, and I was like, okay, what the fuck is the first sin in the Dark Souls universe? Like, I was like, it must just be a bullshit title.
I mean,
because I can't think of anything that reminds me of Scholars of the First Sin.
No.
If it said Scholar of the First Flame, that'd be a really great title and make a lot of sense. Because, you know, the first flames being like, it's a whole bunch of backstory. I don't know what the first sin is in the Dark Souls universe.
Yeah, it just seems like Dark Souls 2, I just see that as a glaring example of here was a new team that missed the point the first team was trying to make, you know?
Yeah. So the thing with the update, though, is that it's Dark Souls 2, plus all the DLC, which is, you know, 3 big DLC packs. I can't remember if there was, like, some... Well, there was pre-order weapons, but they're bullshit and they're terrible. But the DLCs are fantastic. Plus a visual upgrade that people don't know entirely what the deal is, because I don't think they've released video yet, unless, depending on this podcast comes out, there might have by now. But people are thinking that because they said there's new lighting effects, that it'll be the old lighting engine that they couldn't use on last-gen consoles. If you remember seeing
Right.
like the TGS footage with the crazy lighting effects. So it should look like that, plus all the DLC. And the big thing is that apparently with a new processing power, they're also going to completely change around item locations, add more NPCs, change the way they react. Enemy AI is going to be much better with extra processing power. Like they said, like we are completely fucking overhauling like how this game plays. At least from the inner perspective, they said like shit is gonna get even harder because we have more power to throw at you.
Of course,
And I'm like,
of
that's
course.
great. They said enemies will be
because
deadlier,
that's what
there
it
will be more of
needed.
them. It's like great.
God, wasn't that the reason like the directors of the previous game came out and said, "No, you idiots! The Dark Souls and Demon Souls wasn't made just to be hard. It was made to make the player think."
It was made to
Well,
be
he
hard
said the
but
intention
fair.
was never to be hard. It's just it was a side effect of the way he designed the game.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fucking morons.
I don't know. I still like Dark Souls 2. I got excited when I heard that, just the idea of new NPCs. They said they're also going to try to add up more NPCs. They're going to spread them out, which makes you think there might be more landmass to explore. I don't know if that's the case.
Their
But
mom-
there was some
Just-
interview they had where he talked about a lot of the technical limitations with the 360 and PS3 and what they couldn't do.
Right.
So I'll be really curious just to play it again for that. The thing is, though, with PC, we still don't know if you own the PC version, if you get the visual upgrade for free, if you have to buy a whole new version of the game. The common thesis is, or the common idea is that, like with Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition or Metro Redux,
Yeah.
it'll be like if you own the previous one in your Steam library, you get a 50% discount or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that was the case for Sleeping Dogs, especially.
Yeah.
Like, I got an email from fucking Square saying like, "Oh yeah, you can get like for a limited time, you can get a discount on the definitive edition because you have it in your Steam library."
I want to say that because on Sleeping Dogs Plus, every bit of DLC that game had, it cost me like $10 to get Definitive Edition. It was like, fuck it, just buy it for the
Yeah.
upgrade and more content. And I was like, sure.
Yeah, and
So
Sleeping Dogs is a good fucking game to buy twice.
Yeah. I mean, if that's the case, I will definitely buy it. Of course, I'm going to buy it regardless because I am a horrible Dark Souls person who will just devour any Dark Souls related thing. But
You're
I'm
a horrible
excited.
Dark Souls
More people are
person.
going to play Dark Souls too. Like, maybe it'd be cool if they did like a what's what I'm looking for? Like a
Episode
remaster-
18, horrible Dark Souls person.
If they did like a remaster of Dark Souls 1, that'd be a really great addition too, but since it's not the same people, I don't know how that stuff works. That Bloodborne's coming out. I think this comes out like literally like 2 weeks after Bloodborne or something like that. Which is gonna be
Yeah,
interesting.
like it's after Bloodborne, and I mean, we don't know how good Bloodborne's even gonna be. Like,
Could be the worst game of the year. We have no idea. That's gonna be the fun part. Well, that was my piece of news, is new Dark Souls 2 coming out. I'm excited for that.
Mm.
I don't remember if this is from long enough ago, if we just didn't talk about it last week, but you guys familiar with the whole, like, the crew, nobody's getting early copies
yeah,
or
yeah.
they
Yeah.
are, but they're not supposed to review
Which
it
is
until it
never a
comes
good
out.
sign. Which is never a good sign.
Well, it's funny, they gave,
Well-
like, almost the exact thing that that Bungie said for Destiny, like, almost verbatim, where it's like, this game cannot be fully experienced until there are multiple players around. It's like, it didn't matter for Destiny, it's not gonna matter for this game. Because unless you literally have hundreds of cars, MMO fashion, lining up to a quest giver, it doesn't matter how many people are in this game.
Cars lining up to a quest giver.
That'd be
Holy
so
shit!
great. It's like hundreds of cars, like
That's
surrounding
so
a quest giver.
stupid.
That sounds beautiful. You should
That
make
sounds
game.
terrible. I love it.
There,
Like,
there are
I
Korean
can't
car
help-
MMOs. I've played them before.
Like, I have played racing games with a fucking quest system. That was Need for Speed Street 2, like,
Oh,
or I think that's what it was called.
wait,
like,
the MMO one?
Need
World?
for Speed Pro
no. It was like on previous gen consoles at this point would be PS3, but like PS2, Xbox, GameCube, and it was
Pro Street.
Need for not Pro Street, but I think
Carbon?
it was just called. No, it was like even before those, like before
Fuck.
Most Wanted
Hot
on
Pursuit?
PS2.
Underground.
No, yeah, Underground. I
Underground.
think that's what it was. Yeah,
Oh, right.
Need for
there were
Speed
like two
Underground.
Undergrounds, weren't there?
Yeah, Need for
Underground
Speed
2.
Underground 2 tried to take this whole approach of you can drive all around the map, but if there are like missions and stuff you want to
Yep.
do, then you fucking pull up your GPS and you do that. So
And it was a huge thing.
So
Yeah.
that's basically what the crew's going to be, right? Only
I guess.
Obviously.
microtransactions. I don't know
Yeah,
if
it's
you
gonna be
guys, I don't know if you guys saw that
microtransactions, son
too,
of a
where
bitch.
there was a NeoGAF thread going around about somebody playing the beta, and he's like, "This might be the worst microtransactions I've ever seen in a game before."
God, and it doesn't surprise me the way Ubisoft, like I said, the shit that Ubisoft wanted to pull with Unity, a full price $60 game. Like, stop that! If you're gonna do all this bullshit, don't sell it for $60.
You guys remember when someone from Kotaku read an article about how he appreciated microtransactions?
Yeah.
He was fucking wrong.
People were not happy.
I also remember saying that Kotaku was shit.
Yeah, I haven't really
the
given
stance I'll
Banana
take is
Rat's
I
ass
don't
their
mind
opinion.
microtransactions as long as the game isn't balanced with them in mind. The only problem is that they usually are. But if it's like, if I can play the game normally and I never notice them, it's like fucking whatever. If you want to boost, if you have limited time and you want to pay shit, fucking I don't care. Use your own damn money.
The problem with that
it's just they're never balanced correctly.
The problem with saying that is that when you do regular transactions, you fundamentally give the game designer a reason to not make the game balanced.
Yeah.
You have a reason for them to deliberately imbalance the games that they may make money.
The whole thing on like the psychology of free-to-play, if you ever look that up, and the shit that they try to do in a free-to-play game, which I can understand if they do that in free-to-play, but when you're doing that in a $60 retail product, that's fucking gross.
Yeah, like you look at Smite or League, because League is like the most played game on PC apparently. I don't know, but let's look at League. League
you certainly play it.
Yeah, I love it. That's why I was worried about talking about it. But
no.
League is a free-to-play game. It's online, and it's like, okay, do you want to experience more champions? You can have different moves and different strategies when combating other people. That's free. Now, if you have a credit card, then you can get it a little faster, but you don't have to. You can just play the game, get enough points to buy the champion. And I actually like that in Smite a lot more, because in Smite, you can use some of those points that you earn, called favor, in League is IP. In Smite's favor, you can actually rent a champion for a few matches and see if you like it. It's like 100 favor, which is nothing. It's like 10 cents.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 25 cents to like see if the champion is fun, and play them and try and learn them a little bit. That's actually really cool, and then you can buy them with the favor. Now, if you want cool stuff like skins, then you need to have the money. But other than that, you're fine. And that's okay. And other places will do that too. But I agree. In a full price game where you've already spent the money, make it so you have to unlock it by doing something, not.
Yeah.
If you have a credit card. It's a little disgusting.
Like natural progression.
Yeah. Just like a free-to-play game. Like the two biggest free-to-play games, they do it like that. Like, why can't a full-price game do it?
Wait, two biggest free-to-play games? You're talking about Candy Crush now?
Oh, God.
Oh, fuck you for that.
My mother still plays Candy Crush every day.
My aunt does.
Why, bless her heart.
I have absolutely no one... There's nobody in my family that I know of who plays Candy Crush.
You lucky bastard.
Yeah.
I have the best family in the world. They may be crazy sometimes, but they don't play Candy Crush.
That's good. That's right.
I was going to bring up a little news, if that's okay.
Sure.
Yeah, do it.
News me up.
There was we were talking about the PSP earlier, and that reminded me there were
Sony
is now offering refunds to PSP Vita owners.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the ads early on apparently were misleading, quote unquote.
Well, it's not like a refund; it's a rebate of a certain amount of money, I believe.
It's $25 refund.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're like, our ads were kind of full of shit, so we'll give you some money back.
Yeah, it was some weird stuff. Also, I totally forgot another piece of news that was kind of sad.
Go ahead, I'm done.
Master Chief Collection still doesn't work online.
Yeah, the matchmaking is
still busted. Broken. God, because I remember seeing that. Like, I saw the Giant Bomb article, and I was like, oh my god, like, it's been like 2 weeks or something, and people still can't play that game online.
Something else I've been hearing about, like, Xbox One online functionality in general. Fucking, I guess, making a party is more difficult now than it was on the 360.
I don't understand how it works.
Like, how do you fuck that up?
Because it was kind of perfect before.
You had it in place. How do you break it?
Like, it's a weird thing where it's like, it's game specific, I think.
Man.
I think that's how it works, but it's so weird because it's like, it was absolutely perfect before. It's like 100% perfect.
Yeah.
You invite a friend to a party, and then you say, hey, you got 6 other friends you want to party up with? They say, yeah, and you can play whatever the fuck you want. Back in high school, I used to come home all the time, just join the Xbox Live party, and everybody be playing their own games, doing whatever.
Like, even if you were all playing a different game, it was fun to just bullshit. Like,
yeah, it was so weird. And now it's kind of like, if you want to do that, you have to have Skype now, because the Xbox One doesn't work that way.
God!
I don't know how they fucked up a perfect system, but they found a way.
Yeah, it's...
So
Oh,
weird.
holy shit. Like, you wonder if... You honestly wonder if it is a bigger problem. Like, it's not just this one game, but, like, the architecture and infrastructure that game has to run on is probably fucking broken. Like, is it... Like, what happened? What caused this? Like, why is it that fucking busted? And to kind of pose the hypothetical of, was the game not ready to begin with, and they just figured, well, let's ship it out, and then, in the meantime, before it's the shelves, try to get some kind of patch in place to fix it, or something along those lines? I don't know. Like,
I don't fucking know, man.
it's a
unacceptable.
really huge clusterfuck. It is a...
It's
Like,
fucking
man.
incredible.
It's unacceptable.
Like, I don't know what to think, because I would just love to know, like, internally, like, what the hell is going on there. Like, is the fucking 343 Industries or whoever, you know, I know there are multiple people working on the port job, is their office just, like, on fire 24/7? Just, like, they have, like, no idea what's going on? Because I think on the Bombcast they talked about it, and, like, you know, the general reaction is either, one, they knew this was going to happen, and they're just trying to work harder, or two, they had no idea it was going to happen like this, and they were just freaking out every time they come to the
And
office.
either way has its own bad implications.
Yeah. I mean, I at least expect the former one of, like, yeah, games have to come out, you know, you fucked up, you're trying to fix it. I feel like that's, like, a bunch of games this season. I would feel kind of bad if they had no idea, and all of a sudden, just, like, the game comes out, and they're super excited, and it's like, well, the whole thing is fucked. Everybody's staying overtime, everybody's gonna fix
That's
this huge
apparently,
mess.
if you believe the statements, that's what happened in Unity, although I don't believe the statements.
No, with Unity, no. You can focus test that a lot better than you can a game with thousands of players on day one.
You know, because it's not like they had to worry about female characters, so that was a workload off their shoulders,
They
right?
didn't have to animate them, they tried, I could tell.
No.
They tried real hard to animate them, too.
Son of a bitch.
Hey, to be fair, Ubisoft proved that they were correct. They were not capable of making female characters.
I mean, they did not
They
lie.
clearly were not able to do it. Clearly. That's been proven.
That'd be hilarious. I would
mean,
just
they
laugh
can't-
so hard if they came out with statements like, guys, we weren't lying. We really couldn't animate
Fucking
female characters.
Liberation was able to do it. What the hell? What?
New engine, man. Can't. It's
Yeah.
female incapable.
And they did it by basically reusing a lot of Connor's movements.
You know what? I wasn't really believing the fact that it was a new engine when it looks so fucking similar to every other Assassin's Creed game aside from 4.
I mean,
Like,
I'd
is
argue
it
that,
really-
like, there are some definite differences in the way that it displays textures and cloths.
Yeah, I guess, but man, it just looks
You
the
can definitely
fucking
argue- you can also argue
same
it looks worse in some ways.
in a lot of ways. Yeah, just holy shit,
I mean,
what were they
I'll
doing?
get to that when I talk about playing it, but it was really bizarre.
Oh man.
Got any other news? Besides, basically, video games are over because they're all terrible, apparently. That's like the general consensus on Twitter is like, fuck it, yep, video games suck, pack it in.
Which is just sad because I had a guy I follow on Twitter. He just kind of posted that, like, you know, I'm thinking about getting into video games. What would you suggest?
Every game that
And-
came out this season, buy it immediately.
I just kind of give him the same advice I give to anybody, which is, like, go to any random store you want and see what games are out. Like, not what's coming, but what's out. Or, well, actually, yeah, you can kind of look at stuff that's also coming out if you really want to, but just go to a store, see what's out there right now, and then if you see something you like, just find out what platform it's available for, and then go from there. It's...
Yeah, I mean, like, if I were somebody, depending on, like, their budget, I would almost say, like, yo, just buy a fucking 360 and go to town with, like, $5 games if you're not that into graphics. If you want to play multiplayer, I'd suggest probably getting, like, a PS4 and a couple of games.
I don't know, because sometimes you could, you know, if you do genuinely get somebody that's like, you know, well, what if I really do want to play on a PC? Well,
How much money
much
you
money?
got?
I mean,
How well
granted,
do you know hardware?
granted, there are some good, like, some of the indie games are out there that some people, newcomers, would enjoy, that you don't need a big ass fucking $1,100 rig to play on.
You saying I don't need 16 gigs of RAM to play Braid?
You shouldn't.
Oh, then that's concerning.
If you do, you must be fucked on hard drive space or something. I don't know.
I have 3 kilobytes of space left on my hard drive. I need all this RAM. I'm just gonna load the whole game into RAM.
But how do you download more RAM?
You go to downloadmoreram.com.
I see.
Then after that you go to Batman.
Thank you, Sam, for your advice.
Oh yeah, I'm a computer specialist, man. I built a computer. I know everything about computers now.
Obviously.
I don't think there's a whole lot of other big news, though, going on at the moment.
Besides, every game launch has basically been fucked.
Well,
it's almost. I mean, overall, it's very minuscule, like the amount of games that have been messed up. But it's just funny because I feel like this is the first time that it's.
Feels like all the big game titles have had some glitch associated with them, like some really major issues.
But unless I'm mistaken, I don't remember this happening in years prior. Like I don't remember like Modern Warfare 2 coming out and be like, "Well, it's terrible" or something like that. Like I feel like this is the first year that we've had multiple botched releases.
We're just more aware of it than we were before.
Possibly.
Either that, or it's just that publishers just don't have any fucking patience to let their developers hammer out everything they can, and you have some publishers out there that just want to get into that practice of like, okay, how long would it take you to get a patch in place between the time this goes gold and when this gets out on store shelves? Like,
I feel like that happens a lot these days.
Yeah, more than it should.
Especially with all these day one patches that are optimization fixes.
Yeah, fucking Medal of Honor.
Oh yeah.
That's yeah. Remember that?
That's a video game. I have that video game. I think I've beaten it like
Poor
3
bastard.
times. I don't know. Like I have a super low bar for first-person shooters, so I beat it, and I was like, it's fun. I got it literally for like $12 on Amazon.
I did buy you Warrior.
Wait, which one did you buy me?
Rogue Warrior.
Oh god, fuck.
Or Cinco's.
Rogue Warrior. I kept telling you I was gonna make a video on that. You can hold me to that. It's gonna happen.
Yep.
I've already decided though that alcohol is gonna be involved, and I don't drink much at all. I decided I'm gonna take a drink every time he curses, and I was like, I'm gonna need someone here with me to make sure I don't die.
No. You'll be dead of alcohol poisoning if you do that. That's
halfway through mission 1, and that was the last we saw of Sam. Played
and no one ate dinner that night.
Big pro. Oh god, dude, I was playing fucking Left 4 Dead 2 with a friend of mine the other night, and we had a whole bunch of mods installed, and we kept making this joke that was like, I really need a fucking, like, Nautico mod for the witch. So when she runs at you, the witch in Left 4 Dead runs at you, just goes, Big bro! I was like, oh god, stay away from me!
I mean, there are mods that change the background music from when you view the tank to reach out to the truth.
Yeah, he had his changed to Nichi Joint, which just goes like smoke weed, smoke weed, smoke weed, weed, smoke, when the tank shows up.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I had a whole bunch of mods that were like Hatsune Miku mods. I turned the witch into Hitler.
Of course they were. A fucking course was Hatsune Miku mod.
Why wouldn't they be? What else am I gonna do with my life, Brandon?
I played with somebody that had a Pokemon mod in place that, like, Coach was Lucario for some fucking... What?
You can see their mods?
No, but he showed me a screenshot of what it looked like to him, and Coach was a fucking Lucario for some reason. Like,
my
sure.
Coach was an anime lady with Coach's voice. It was very disturbing. Even the mouths moved. It was really weird.
Oh man, that's wow.
Yeah,
holy shit.
I recorded it. You'll see it.
Oh god.
Anyway, should we just get on to our main course?
Yeah, it's about time.
Yes, please.
All right. And of course, you can always comment that if you like us talking about the news, please tell us so, because while we do whatever the fuck we want, we happily appreciate your feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't remember the order I did anything anymore. Chris, you want to talk about games?
Sure. I've been playing some.
Okay.
Have you now?
Stuff that I've may have already mentioned, but there's been some improvements here and there. Like got kind of sucked back into Hyrule Warriors again because
I just got out, man. Like after that last podcast, I haven't played it since.
Oh man, well they dropped some new DLC.
Ah, damn it!
So the second pack is out, which is the Twilight pack.
Chris, I'm turning on my TV right now.
They introduced the Twilight Pack, which introduced a whole new character. You get to play as the Twilight version of Midna, which is this was Midna in like her in what is supposed to be her true form. That people who play Twilight Princess, you only saw her like at the very end.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just straight up made a character for her. I forget the producer guy's name, but the guy from Omega Force, he basically said that it just seemed like such a missed opportunity. They had this really cool looking character, and you only got to see her for like a few minutes or so at the very end of Twilight Princess. So they wanted to just make a version of her playable in Hyrule Warriors, which they did, and she feels pretty badass because like her weapon is basically this mirror that has all kinds of like hologram hands and shit coming out of it. It's just really screwed up and kind of, yeah, I really dig it. She's pretty cool to play as. They also added amiibo functionality to it, which is kind of dumb, but it has allowed me to cheaply get some high-powered weapons in a dumb way. Like basically, so here's how amiibos work in Hyrule Warriors is essentially once a day, doesn't matter which figures you have, but once a day you can get items from your amiibos, like amiibo gifts, and it can be anything. It can be anything from you got 10 rupees, or you got 10 crafting material things, or or in some cases you'll get like 3-star weapons. Like, you got this weapon or something, which also allowed me to get some more weapons for Twilight Midna, so I could get more powerful versions of the mirror. I was like, yep, because fuck grinding.
I'm feeling it. Coursing through
The
veins.
the Link figure, you get the spinner weapon that you used in the Twilight Princess game. It was like that spinner gear that I don't know what the exact name for it was. It was like the Triforce spinner, I think it was actually called. But
Chris, you did tell
yes.
me that they upped the level cap to 150.
Oh yeah.
Christ!
Yeah, so the level cap is 150 now. I think that was just part of the update, though.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I'm looking at. The patch notes that, and you can hold.
Yeah, like that's not
DLC.
DLC. That's part of their update.
That's
was
just
the level cap?
Fucking hell, man! Why?
Yeah.
What kind of person sat there, got everything to 99, and says, "Yes, I need another 51 levels for every character."
Because why not?
Oh, it's gonna keep you playing, isn't it, Samuel?
I already have it loaded up. Let me just look through my free mode, see if it downloaded correctly.
So yes.
Yeah, and there's some other shit in there. There's another adventure mode map because why not? Obviously, there's some like 8-bit weapons. Zelda gets a new weapon which feels fucking broken called the Dominion Rod.
She shoves up her opponent's ass.
I think the Dominion Rod was from one of the DS Zelda games where you would.
That's one that lets you control the knight in Phantom Hourglass, I think.
Yeah. You would have this rod that had like an energy ball on it, and you would have it sent into like these knight statues and bring them to life and control them. That might have been for Twilight Princess also.
Maybe. It was basically just the command menu from Ocarina in item form.
Yeah, but it was basically like you could command like these knight statues with it, and Zelda has it as a weapon. And because of my amiibo figures, I got one that was like it does like 480 damage. It feels super broken. It's just Zelda's just waving this thing around, and there's these statues just stomping the hell out of everything on screen. It's amazing. So
alternate costumes, Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah. So they also added some new costumes. Like Link gets he gets the mailman costume from Majora's Mask, which is where I remember seeing him.
Because that's what everybody wanted. They were like, "Yeah, mailman."
There's some people who just love fucking obscure ass characters from the Zelda games.
Not the milkman, the mailman.
Yeah, the mailman.
Guess what? It wasn't the pizza.
And the milkman. The milk is delicious.
Oh god, yeah. I saw that coming a mile away. I knew you were going to say that. What else? Link, that's a costume Link got. Zelda gets a costume that makes her look like some townsperson. I think Ilia is her name.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah, and I think she was also a character from Twilight Princess. So.
Oh god, I should know that then, but I'm trying to make the update go. Fucking Wii U, how do games work?
Wii U's kind of weird to where it's like it'll download and install the update automatically, and then if you have like the Spot Pass stuff on, it will download that stuff automatically, but it won't install until you start the game. And then if you start the game, it's not going to be in there right away. You'd have to get out of it and then install it and then enter the game again, and then it'll be in there.
Oh yeah, it totally. Because I started it up and now it says preparing downloadable content.
Yeah. So
it's the worst thing going for the Wii U, man. Is like their infrastructure for their DLC stuff is so basic.
Yeah.
Like they're trailing so far behind in that.
But I gotta admit, they do DLC right. Like
that's a lot of shit. I just looked at the notes.
Yeah.
Like new maps, new adventure mode stuff.
Yeah, just instead of you keep playing by basically giving you more stuff to do.
And this only costs like they have 2 more packs coming, and if you bought that hero pack, you got all of this for $20.
Yeah, that's what I bought.
I think that's pretty substantial. Like they would have charged. I think normally they would like for 4 DLC packs. Other companies would have charged like $30 for this.
I mean, probably more. Because that's the thing I was going to mention is that, like, have you guys also noticed this trend where season passes have progressively gotten more expensive, even though there's not any extra content? Like, you used to when the season pass came out, it was $20, and like that was the set standard. Like maybe now 15 if you're lucky. Now it's 30. I think Call of Duty, it's like $40. I think for 4 map packs. Yeah.
Fuck that.
It's 4 map packs, and I'm like, I don't care how good those fucking maps are. They're just maps. If for Call of Duty, it's like, give me weapon skins, emblems, map packs, and new customization items, new helmets. I want tons of shit for paying 2/3 of the entire game.
Yeah. Although that does just kind of show you how much of a ripoff all that DLC shit actually ends up being.
God, like there's some season passes that are really good. Some people do it well, but it's just like it's got so out of hand because they can just under the name season pass basically put whatever the fuck they want and charge whatever they want.
Yeah. I'm curious, Garrett. Have you spent much money on like DLC, like for a number of games, or?
I'm sorry.
Do you buy DLC for games often, especially season passes?
I don't buy the season passes just because I'm a broke ass motherfucker, but I would totally have. I would have bought the season passes, admittedly, for Titanfall. I would have, and for the Battlefield games, even though I've played the Battlefield games on the Xbox and I love them, and then I played them on PC, and it turns out I'm a good mop. So, yeah.
So another thing that Chris did not mention is that I think way before in podcasts we had talked about how there was an adventure map, which is like the big meat of the game, and then the DLC introduced the second map. Was that the DLC or was that when you beat the game? You got the second map, the Master Quest map. I think it was the DLC. I think it was the first one gave you that Master Quest map.
Yeah. The first DLC pack had the Master Quest map.
This one has another map for you.
Yeah, the Twilight map.
Christ, I'm never gonna finish this game.
No,
you're not supposed to. It's Dynasty Warriors.
I was making progress on the adventure map, and I was like, here's another one. And it's got all kinds of new bullshit. I'm sorry to keep interrupting you, but this is just blowing my mind. Like, I guess I'm happy, because this is a lot of content, man.
Yeah, and like I said, there are 2 more packs on the way.
I think they dated them too, and it's going to go until, like, the beginning of next year, I believe.
Yeah, probably, because I know, like, that second Mario Kart pack that they have, like, that shit doesn't drop until May.
Oh, the Ilia clothes for Zelda, it's the chick that Link, I think Link likes in Twilight Princess in the tutorial.
Yeah, she's like from his hometown.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's try Dominion Rod.
Yeah, so I was playing around with that. I dig it. It kind of makes... Because the first pack I don't think was that great. This one is a lot more substantial.
I can't remember what the first one was. I'd have to look over it. But I think it was the Master Quest. It had, like, Link's alternate, I think, or something like that. Oh, well, no, it had Sia and the alternates for Sia and...
Yeah.
Lana. Because it's Lana.
Yeah, right? You had that. You had some 8-bit weapons, but that was it. And the Master Quest map. I think that was also where you got the scenario missions for Sia, Volga, and Wizro.
Oh yeah, yeah. You got new campaign content. That was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
A couple levels.
So-
they were okay.
But you didn't get like it wasn't like you got new characters because when they added Sia, Volga, and Wizro, those were just for free in an update, which is
Really?
good.
I didn't know that. I thought that was DLC. That's
No,
pretty awesome.
no,
then.
you did.
Good on them.
Well, I mean, they were added in the update, but they were not paid DLC.
Well then, fucking Nintendo Company of the Year.
Yeah,
as far
see,
as DLC, like Jesus
I
Christ.
mean, well, not even Nintendo, but Omega Force and the guys behind Hyrule Warriors. Yeah, the fact that they just straight up give you those dues for free, that's awesome. And Twilight Midna is the shit as far as I'm concerned. I really like her. So
it's just like it's kind of blown my mind.
Do
after
you
I've been
like
looking
her? Or
at-
do you like her?
Oh,
maybe I like her.
we
You
all
got a problem with it?
her.
No.
I was just watching a video where a couple of guys were talking about that. They were saying that Twilight Midna was best girl, and I was like, oh man, let's get into this conversation.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think I watched that same video.
Yeah. It's just like,
Fucking Rudo's got some competition.
I'm just fucking flabbergasted by this, man. Especially with just, all these new games coming out and seeing all them season passes, and I'm like, I guess I might pick up one, and the Assassin's Creed thing. And this one comes out, and it's just fucking, truckloads of content with every season pass spread out over a long period of time.
Yep.
It's like it's what I want season passes to continue to be, and what they stopped being like a year ago.
Yeah.
Because they were like this for a while. There was a time when season passes were super cool.
I think the first one I saw was the LA Noir one, which actually was pretty
that was
good.
Because it was like fan created stuff too, if I remember correctly. Like the last one was, the naming was for Nicholson electroplating.
I can't remember.
I think it was like you got to name it. I don't think it was the actual help the DLC creation. That was cool. What were some early season passes? That might be a good thing to look back on. I'm trying to remember. What was the first? I think it was Call of Duty was the first one to ever use the term season pass. Either that or LA Noir. Or no, I think it was LA Noir.
Yeah, that was. It's a shame because that game really wasn't that great in hindsight, but it was a good idea that got abused so highly.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Well,
so aside from that, played some Mario Kart because fuck, trying to.
So is that I have not bought that, but is it like the Hyrule Warriors effect of I just want to play this for the rest of my life, kind of deal?
What, Mario Kart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it that addicting day to day until you burn out on it?
For the most part, my main motivation behind it has been either one, I'm playing this with some friends. Two, I'm playing this to maybe do a couple quick races for my personal enjoyment. Or three, which has been the big one right now, is I have to get 1 star in first place on every fucking Grand Prix so I can unlock the golden cart.
I need it in gold.
I fucking want it.
Remember those days when we used to have things that we got unlocked in the game as rewards for all these kinds of tasks?
To buy them $5 for the golden cart. Nintendo remembers.
Achievement unlocked.
Well, Nintendo did give us Mercedes cars in Mario Kart for free,
which is fucking hilarious.
It is fucking weird.
Nintendo, just never stop being Nintendo with the way you do downloadable content. I hope that they're like this forever.
Nintendo, you need to fucking talk to 1 or 2 people, either Harley or Suzuki, to get some fucking motorbike free.
Yes, fucking Suzuki bikes.
I know,
cool.
right?
Oh, that would be great.
I could see Bowser on a fucking Suzuki, or better yet, I could see Rosalina fucking mounting a Suzuki bike. Just
you want to talk about
God.
bikes?
Oh man.
I just remember that video that we're both talking about. The conversation was Rosalina versus Twilight Midna.
Oh shit!
I remember that now because they were arguing over who was the best girl, and I was like, oh god.
I know that's a tough one.
Just tune in with your answers. TheTextPop@gmail.com. Who is best girl?
Who is your waifu?
Yeah, that was what they meant by the waifu war. That was.
Yep. I wasn't gonna say it, but Brandon went ahead and said it.
I mean,
That's the W
I've got to
word.
point out how much weeaboo you are.
I mean, we know. I didn't have to say waifu. They know.
I don't know,
They
Garrett. Who do
they
you think
know.
wins the waifu war?
Garrett's got like a poster of one of them in his room. Just like, yeah. I think Garrett's got like a poster of like Daisy. Like he's that kind of guy.
No, he's got a Waluigi poster.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, Mr. Eyeballs.
Waluigi. This is Waluigi time.
I'd love to see someone in a conversation about like best Nintendo girls and be like, I'm more of a Waluigi man myself, you know. I like him tall, skinny, kind of a dick, and with giant mustaches.
And he's not good at anything except for playing tennis, golf, and go-kart racing.
He's really good at sports for some reason.
He's good at parties?
He doesn't do anything else.
He's an athlete.
Fucking Waluigi's waifu war. That's...
I mean, really? Like, what else?
Episode 18, Waluigi Wife War.
I just want Waluigi's my waifu.
Waluigi Waifu War, episode 18 of the Texture Pop.
I would argue for Waluigi's my waifu. I think that'll get some views for all the wrong reasons.
Oh
That's
my
all
God.
I want for the Texture Pop. I want viewers for the wrong reasons.
So
when
why not
people
just
come
have
in
them
and be like,
watch
"This is-"
Texture Pop? That's kind of like our thing, is wrong views for wrong reasons.
We attract the wrong kind of people for the wrong reasons.
Alright,
Yeah,
messing around with those. And then recently, I got into Warframe, which I think will segue really nice into what Garrett's been doing.
Hey, you want to talk about Warframe?
Warframe is fun. Warframe is essentially what you would get if Destiny were actually available on the PC.
Hey man, Bungie said it might happen, guys. So it might happen.
No, it won't.
It'll happen after Destiny 2.
Yeah, like Destiny 1, $60. Wait, Destiny 2 just came out. Destiny 1, $60.
Yeah, it's the best thing. Yeah, Warframe is if Destiny were available on PC and were actually free and really good,
Wait,
and
Destiny's free?
sadly full of
So like nothing like
microtransactions.
Destiny?
Yeah, it's
antithesis of
it's nothing like
Destiny?
Destiny. Yeah.
So are you guys playing this together, or you just both be happening to play Warframe?
I think we just happen to be playing Warframe.
Yeah,
we haven't played
because
together yet.
Because I mean, I wouldn't mind getting together to play some Warframe, because I've always wanted to
Because
play
it was-
the game, but I never could really
There's-
get into it alone.
There's no reason not to. It's free, and
Yeah.
it's
Like, I've played it
it's really
multiple
fun.
times, but just with random people, like, there's no, like, you know, it's one of those games where I feel like I'd be better with friends, so while I'm learning
Yeah.
stuff.
it's really fun with friends.
To
It's
be fair, what's not? I mean, come on.
yeah, it's really fun. You run around, shoot some shit. It's you can customize your ship, you can customize your suit, you can use your microtransactions to buy other suits, and as a free to play game, that's okay.
Yeah,
But-
I've heard that game
yeah.
has some pretty alright microtransactions.
Yeah,
It's
at first, when you
customization.
first see them, you're like, "Oh my god, it's so expensive." But I made a Warframe. I upgraded it to the point where I was like, "It's perfect," and it was less than $10.
Is it solid pink?
Oh man.
Yeah, no, but I upgraded it. Like I was like, I have the best suit ever, and it was like $10. Like not even. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, they're pretty lenient. Like when you first hop in, you're like, oh my god, everything costs money, but no, it doesn't.
Like, because
It's fine.
I decided to boot it up because I had, I saw Garrett as well as a number of other friends on my Steam list that were playing it.
Wow.
I know, like,
doesn't like Umbra play it a lot?
yeah, Umbra.
Yeah, Uber plays it a lot.
Yeah, he does. I remember when
He's
did
been
his,
playing with me. He's been helping me level up one of my suits, my Necro suit.
Yeah, Umbra, our buddy Kendall, and they've been playing it, and like I wanted to get it. I had it installed for the longest time, but as the problem I tend to run into is I have these online games and I don't boot them up for a while, and then it's like, oh man, maybe I should get this up to date so I can play with them. 3 gigs to download. Fuck.
Is it one of those
Yeah,
games like
so-
it launches its own launcher out of Steam, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It does not. Like, Steam does not do the automatic updating. And I think the reason for that being was this was a game that, it had been in beta long before it got onto Steam, and then it got onto
Yeah,
Steam
it's been out
later.
for
And
forever, feels like.
yeah, and it's not like I think we had kind of mentioned this once before, where it's like this whole thing of when you have Steam delivering the updates, there is, a big process that Valve has to go through for approving it and everything, whereas games that update themselves, like what Warframe does, it's like they are the ones that have the most control over it, and they can put it out as quickly as they need to without having to go through anybody else. So it kind of depends. It's different stroke for different folks, but yeah, I had to download like 3 gigs, and like the launcher and everything was different. It was weird. That game has changed quite a bit since I started playing it. It's like, and that's my question for Garrett. Like, how long did you start playing this? Like, when did you start getting into it? Like, just recently, or?
It was very recently. It was about 3 days ago.
Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
yeah, because I got into it, or you know, I kind of heard about it when it was in its open beta.
Yeah,
And-
was that like 2 years ago now or something crazy? I feel like I've
Possibly.
known that game for like, I keep saying forever. I feel like it's been a
Since
long
it was a little
time
baby.
since I've known that game.
Yeah,
Since they grow up so fast.
I just remember like them
Little
first
baby.
showing it off, and it was mind blowing at the time, just like the way
Yeah.
it looked and played.
It
uh,
still looks really cool. The way it plays is very much. It's like you're on a ship. Everything is instanced. You're on a ship, and then you fly to a mission, and you do the mission. It's very much like Destiny in that you're on a ship, and then
So you're on a ship.
you fly to a planet. You pick the planet from a star map, and then you do a mission on it, and it'll change. Like, this mission is you have to unlock this door. Or, like, this mission is you have to kill everybody. Or this mission is you have to
Sounds
sneak in
riveting.
and kill this one person. And it's it is actually really fun because you get to go in and there's some you're supposed to be a space ninja, even though there's really no ninja aspects. Like, you could sneak around, or you could just run
I
in
mean, you
and do
got a
whatever else
sword.
does and shoot
Ninjas
them.
have
Yeah.
swords.
I mean,
And throwing knives, and they're awesome.
Yeah, there is that kind of element to it where I've seen some people, like, you do have the opportunity to try to go in stealthy, which is difficult to do, or
Yeah.
you go in loud. Which is what I end up doing.
I try sneaking in
Loud and
with
proud.
yeah, I try sneaking in with my throwing knives, and then when I have to, I pull out my assault rifle. I have a sword, throwing knives, and then assault rifle for if things get hairy.
Yeah,
And yeah, but other than that, like, it is a really fun game, and it's free, so there's really no reason not to play it. And it's I recommend it.
awesome.
There you go.
And it's on
Yeah.
PC, and it's available on PC.
I think it's also on PS4 now too.
It's on PS4 and apparently possibly Xbox One, but apparently Xbox One's those versions are far behind the PC version.
Probably
Yeah.
because they need to work out the
Probably.
fucking matchmaking.
I feel like Sony's seems to do a much better job as far as getting indie
Indie
stuff
ports.
and free to play stuff working on their console. Like, I've seen
Yeah,
like a lot
'cause-
of new free to play stuff go up since like DC Universe Online, Warframe. There's a bunch of like
Well, I mean-
free to play stuff on there.
Well, yeah, and I mean that's a whole other thing about like MMOs and the like. But I mean, Warframe for the most part is a cooperative shooter, so it's not an MMO per se, but it does look fucking beautiful though, because that's one of the things, you know, got my new graphics card. I'm like, holy shit. And some of the other stuff I've noticed about booting up this game, and why I was curious how long Garrett had been playing it, because like I had mentioned, I started with the game when it was in its open beta, and I just kind of noticed, you know, they're kind of adding more stuff and more stuff in the menus to make them easier to navigate, adding all kinds of different UI features. And some of the stuff I've been noticing more is that they're trying to add like narrative and cutscenes and dialogue, and holy shit, it just blows my mind to actually have voice dialogue as opposed to just text on the screen, which,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not always opposed to that, but the voice acting is pretty fucking good here, and the production value, it just seems like the production value on this game is getting better, and better, and it blows my fucking mind since I first saw it. So
All right.
yeah, what else you been doing?
I've been playing Warframe,
Mhm.
been playing League,
What?
trying to do a
Since when? The fuck did that start?
thing where Baki, sorry.
He's turning into
trying-
me. Oh god.
Pick up their Japanese.
So
I already made
he's
this
gonna
joke.
like call me up in the middle of the night and be like, "Let me tell you about Sunimiku." Like, Garrett, I know, I understand.
Let me. I've been playing League, And what I'm doing is every time I win a match, I gain 10 points. If I lose a match, I lose 10 points. I'm playing a normal Steam builder, and I want to get to 100 points before the week's end. And if I can do that, then I will play ranked and give that another shot.
Ranked is rough though. That's
I've played 4 games, and of those 4 games, I have 20 points. That's 2 losses, 2 wins. It was a loss-win, loss-win. Or no, I can't. I'll have to look at my watch history, but I have 20 total. I have 20 points, so that's 2 wins out of however many games I played.
Hey, do you have any events or anything going on in that game recently, or just?
They've recently upgraded some of the, or they've recently released some really cool new skins. Like there's an obviously Sly Cooper skin for Twitch.
What?
Is it like obvious but not copyright infringing?
It's not copyright infringing. It's more brown than his gray. It's brown and black rather than gray and black. But Twitch is
to us.
Twitch is a rat. Okay, he's a rat, and now he's a raccoon, and he's wearing
it's basically the same animal when you think about it.
Pickpocket Twitch. Aha!
One of these days I'm going to get my friend Taylor on here so you guys can talk about League and possibly understand it.
You want us to have a podcast, yes? Okay, hang on.
He's playing
Here you guys
League right
go.
now, actually.
Here you guys go. Pickpocket. That's a picture of Evelyn and Twitch. Twitch is on the right.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I see it.
Oh god!
It's so.
Don't worry.
It's so Sly Cooper. There's also a video, but yeah, that's totally Sly Cooper. And yeah, he's supposed to be a rat, and for some reason, someone was like, "Hey, you know, it'd be awesome if we made him a raccoon like Sly Cooper, because they're supposed to be pickpockets." And it was like, okay, here's a video of him. Here's a video of what it looks like in game. Yeah, it's like kind of funny. But so they released that. They released a few other skins. There's 2 skins. There's one for Evelyn, one for Twitch, where they're the vandals, or they're like the thieves. And then there's there's 2 skins, one for Trundle and one for someone else, where they're police officers chasing after them, like the detectives. And it's Volibear. It's Volibear and Trundle. And the Volibear skin's actually really cool. So I've been playing League. I've been trying to really get into winning and getting into ranked. I can't wait for the I'm trying to think, the winter sale to go on, because that should be really fun.
Oh man, like having like skins and characters for sale, like
yeah, like skins that you can only get during the winter season.
Oh shit.
And stuff like that. It's gonna be really cool. Been playing some Smite and really enjoying that. Did some Christmas shopping today.
I heard. So I got a question for you. Like I booted up Smite not long ago, and I kind of lost my shit. They added a new god. They added a new god called Rama.
Yeah.
Is that an Egyptian god?
Any opinion? No, he is a Hindu.
Oh.
He is Hindu. He uses a bow.
I feel bad. I just insulted somebody's deity. Fuck.
It's all right, man. As an Indian guy, I can tell you we're totally cool with it.
I can't keep up, man.
I was just curious if you had any opinions on Rama, though.
Rama's a really fun champ. He uses a bow, so he's ranged, but he can, depending on where you roll, he can become close quarters, or he can evade really well. His ult is really good. He's one of the most ranged champions. And he's really good.
Yeah, I really want to try him out, because I was all for, you know, I think I've specified on this show before that I am of Indian, you know, heritage. So I thought it was pretty cool. Well, no, not only when I get angry, but I thought it was pretty cool that they added like the Hindi gods and stuff. And and of course, they've had those articles where like people got all fucking super offended, and whatever. But I thought it was really cool that they have that kind of stuff in there. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much representation, so I remember I did watch a
No.
video where somebody was like, dude, like, fucking be happy. Like, all these different deities are being
Yeah.
represented as badass warriors.
and they actually look pretty cool. I mean, in some cases, they're more modest than what they were depicted in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
actual mythology.
People tended to
Yeah.
be very naked in classical art.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Hindu mythology, especially like who is it? The destroyer chick.
Kali
Yeah, Kali. She's
was naked.
always she's always topless in a lot of her like traditional Hindi artwork, but here
Yeah.
it's like she's more modest. And then when they had updated it, they gave her more clothes, and
That's
Because
like,
people freaked
I
out.
remember, I think it was like the Game Theory uploaded a video on that, just basically saying like, you guys are freaking out over what is a weird issue, and it's like, that's a really weird thing to discuss when it's like you try to want to make women not appear as sex objects, the only problem being
Yeah.
that they were originally depicted in such a way.
yeah. Basically,
It's like, what
despite
do
the
you
fact
do?
that Kali is supposed to be death incarnate,
It's not
you
really
know,
very
so-
sexy.
Yeah.
no.
She's a very powerful persona.
Damn it!
Yeah,
They'll find a
Fucking-
way.
we can't get away from that.
Persona.
Persona
little-
and Destiny,
Hey,
two
Brandon,
things
She's usually
we
around
can't get
level
away
50
from.
or so.
Hey Brandon, tell me about Yosuke's eye. Persona.
Okay.
Um,
let's let Chris finish before we get.
No. It was
No, I was
Garrett's
making an
turn. So.
offhand joke.
Yeah.
also
Garrett-
went Christmas shopping today, which was really cool. I got some cool stuff for
So
some
on
of my
Black
family.
Saturday.
Man,
Black Saturday.
Every
Well, now
day
it's
is-
called. I don't know if you read this as you're not a retail employee. It's called Black Friday weekends, not Black Friday.
Oh, great.
because of course it has to last more than one fucking day.
But also Black Friday is more of a holiday than Thanksgiving is.
Oh no, it doesn't count as holiday. We don't get paid overtime.
No, or double time for that matter.
It's a holiday to the consumers.
We were super
Everyone
slow on Black
cares.
Friday.
Then there's when I went to go get my Paki and all that good stuff in the parking lot, my brother kind of lost his wallet,
Well,
Oh no!
was it
which
Black
really sucked.
Did you find it?
Nope.
Oh god!
Yeah. When my stepdad was like, go take a look for it, and I said okay. And I went back and it wasn't there.
Oh shit!
Is your brother like young
Yeah.
enough that he doesn't have credit cards or things like that?
Oh no, he's 21.
Oh,
Oh no!
well, he's gonna
Yep,
have some
he
phone calls
better-
to make.
He better get on some shit. That's
Yeah. We're gonna be making some calls tomorrow.
To be fair,
Um,
though, credit card stuff has gotten pretty good about that fraud stuff. Because I get calls all the time
Yeah,
for
yeah.
my own purchases.
Yeah, but if you've got like, I don't know, your social security in there,
Oh god, no, I would never do that.
yeah, you make some fucking calls
Yeah.
too sweet.
Yeah, that's why I don't do that, because I would forget.
Yeah.
What else? My little sister today was like, "What are you watching?" I was like, "Oh, I'm watching Play Pals. They're playing Five Nights at Freddy's." She's like, "What's that?" So I showed her the video,
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
and she's like, "Oh wow, that's scary."
I've never heard of this. What
Freddy's or Play Pals?
Play Pals?
Okay.
Oh, Play Pals. It's done by Rooster Teeth.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
what,
Bruce
what
Lee.
Rooster Teeth Kids became, basically?
No, they did one episode where it was Rooster Teeth Kids, but or two rather. But it was Play Pals is Gavin and Michael playing games.
Because, you know, they're really good together. They're really happy. No
Yeah.
anger.
And they're playing games. It's like, you idiot, lock the door. He's like, oh my god, I'm scared, my god.
That's why, like, Gavin gets, like, intensely British when he freaks out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
he
way more
gets-
so than usual.
yeah. Michael's like, you fucking like he's from New Jersey. He's like, you fucking idiot, close the
Yeah,
goddamn
yeah,
door.
everyone in New
And-
Jersey's like that. It's a known fact.
He's the rage quit guy.
I love how every single
Yeah.
person from New Jersey is like that. We just associate Jersey with that.
It's just ang- I mean, I've seen Jersey Shore. It's basically like that. They're all spray tan, everybody.
You're retarded.
You know, Jon
What?
Stewart from Daily Show's lives in New Jersey.
I don't believe
It's
it.
really
He's too funny to be
life.
from New Jersey. It's a
Yeah,
problem.
then there's Gavin sitting there. Oh my, it's fucking great. And it's really funny. I was watching Outlast and I watched Five Nights at Freddy's. So I was like, I'm just gonna go back and watch some old stuff.
Outlast. Man, those are weird days. Anything else?
Been watching an anime called The Devil is a Part-Timer, which
That
is
sounds
very.
really
I've seen a
familiar.
I've seen a
really
trailer
funny.
for this.
Well, Sam, you've seen every anime in existence, so of course it sounds familiar to you.
It's true. I even saw
It's
one of the worst animes
really
that
funny.
I've ever seen, which that's
That's her name, Miku?
Miku is the best anime. That's funny. I don't remember what the fuck it was called. It was I watched some kind of like fighting series. It was 3 episodes on Netflix where when the girls fought each other, their clothes ripped off. It was weird.
The
Deeply
Devil is a
uncomfortable.
The Devil is a Part-Timer is about the devil
Uh-huh.
in an alternate dimension called Enta Isla, and a hero, Amelia, and she fights the devil and they have both their armies. It's a war, and the devil, wounded, leaves the dimension. He opens up a portal and travels through the portal to escape, and winds up as a human in Japan, modern day Japan.
Of course he does.
Why wouldn't
And
he?
he reads about our or Japan's modern day like how it operates, and he's he gets a job at a McDonald's, and he's a
Is
part-timer.
it seriously called that?
Dude, if you read
I'm
some
not-
manga, watch some anime, the crazy McDonald's jokes are great. Like in
my God.
It's Not My Fault, I'm Not Popular, whatever it's called. They call it Whack-Donald's.
Yeah, I
It's a
swear.
giant golden W.
I swear to God, yeah. It's called
Whack-Donald's is my favorite.
it's called McDonald's, and they're competing against like
The steak
Japanese
king.
fried JFK instead, like Japanese fried chicken instead of, or JFC rather,
Kentucky
instead of
Fried
KFC.
Chicken.
Yeah,
Oh, I
Yeah.
love you so much, anime. You're the best.
it's great. It's great, and he ends up becoming like a manager, and he's like, yes, I'm like, it's like Invader Zim where he's like the grill
God,
cook. He's
that
like,
fucking
when
episode, Invader Zim.
he's like, when do I rule? And it's like, well, first you have to learn the fry, and then you learn the grill, and then after that you do the scheduling, and
That's
after that
Brandon
you're
all
manager.
about that. He moved up from that.
I never actually made any of the sandwiches at Arby's.
Cashier?
I was cashier, yeah.
Oh.
I was cashier and dishwasher. Like I did every job literally except making
Touch
the
the food.
sandwiches.
Just don't touch the food.
I quit McDonald's because I hated it.
I don't blame you.
You were right to do that.
I was quit.
There's much better work out there.
Yeah, I went to McDonald's and I was like, this place sucks. And I just quit. I think I worked there for like 6 months, and I was like, this is literally hell on earth. I'm leaving.
I'm pretty sure like every person I've ever known that worked at McDonald's worked there for about 6 months.
Yeah,
That seems
it
like
was
the limit of
That's
like
where
either
the
you're gonna
tolerance
continue to
starts to
work
work,
there for the
yeah.
rest of your life or you're quitting.
yeah, it sucked. And there was a woman who actually did that. She was 65 years old and a janitor. And she's like,
Jeez.
I've worked here since first opened. I've
Since
just
the World
shit
War
my-
One.
God.
Nice little bit of a fake pride you get.
When you work there so long.
I rode a dinosaur to work. And oops, I shit myself. And I was like, I'm quitting this fucking place.
Holy shit.
Please stop shooting
You
yourself.
have some serious contempt for this woman.
No, what's sad is she was actually really, really nice. So I feel that.
Yeah,
She
now
was
she's
like,
watching
oh,
this
shoot.
podcast and going, that little fucker.
Little bitch.
That dick. So,
So that reminds
Why?
me, Garrett, that if you're going to be watching weird anime, I got 2 anime that I recently watched that I can recommend to you.
I'm actually wanting to watch Kill la Kill because it's on Netflix.
I wonder if it can't be dubbed. I don't know anybody who would dub it. I was like, if it's subtitled, sure, as long as it's good. It's a good show.
God, there was
What we need
yeah,
to watch, though, are 2 short series. One of them is called I Can't Understand What My Otaku Husband Is Saying, which is great. They're like 3-minute shorts. They're just super rapid-fire jokes. The other one, I don't remember what it's called, but I like to call it The Gay Man's Gay Ballad of the Gay Merman Inside the Gay Bathtub of Gay. Because it's probably the
What?
most gay anime I've ever seen in my life. It's about a guy
You
who
lost,
rescues
dude.
a merman from a river and puts him in his bathtub. And it's that merman lives in his bathtub. And they have wacky hijinks in his bathtub.
Okay.
Bathing
The-
in the bathtub.
So what is the real name of this? What?
Oh, the anime?
Yeah, what is it really called?
It's not called Super Gay.
Yeah, I know it's not called that. That's why I'm
I'd be
asking.
great if it was.
It should be. But I've actually been watching Welcome to the NHK because that's a fantastic anime.
Oh god, I've heard things about that.
Is
real
that
quick,
the
though,
one?
The two anime,
It's really
the
good.
Otaku one is called Danaga Nani wa Itaru wa Wakaranari Ken. I can't understand
The
what my
fuck did
husband
you
is
say to
saying.
me?
And the
Fuck you
super
call
gay
me?
one is called Orenchi no Furu Jijo. And
You can't say that shit around here.
Those are words,
that.
and not English ones either.
I'm just so happy that Garrett's gonna get into the anime and he's gonna choosing all the best stuff.
Anime's fun.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
good time.
and I watched. I was talking to my friend Ben, and I was like, "Hey, do you remember when we had parties every single weekend over at your apartment?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "I missed that." He's like, "Yeah, I'm drunk." I was like, "Oh, okay." It was a
That
really
was
weird
very intellectual
conversation.
conversation you had there.
It was, yeah, and then we hung up. I was like, "That was weird." That's actually my
These are your conversations normally go day to day.
no. But no, he's my best friend. He's like, "Oh, dude, it's Thanksgiving and I'm drunk. Drunksgiving." I was like, "Okay."
All right, talk to you tomorrow then.
That sounds like you on this podcast.
Sometimes, but no, not today. Sadly. Shit. What else?
One day.
That's about it. Just been playing Warframe, League, Smite, and I highly recommend Warframe. Been watching some anime, reading Girl with Dragon Tattoo, trying to finish that, and
that book still fucking haunts me to this day. Trying to finish it.
oh, it's so good.
It's such a heavy book, though, man.
Yeah.
Every page is just filled to the brim with words.
Oh.
It's just
Oh. I thought you meant,
constant.
What else would the page be filled
I don't
with?
mean heavy as
dude?
in physically heavy. I just mean like it's not a very light read. It's like it's very intensive reading.
No.
I thought you meant like the content,
Oh
section.
yeah, it's
like,
heavy content too. It's fucking. It's
Okay.
Swedish.
It's dark.
Serious.
Yeah, it's dark.
It snows there. Shit's serious all the time.
If someone were to watch a movie of it instead of read it, if someone was like, I don't want to read it, I would highly recommend watching the David Fincher version because I actually gave that another watch. I haven't seen it since it came out in theaters in 2012, and I went and saw it. I rented it from the library, and I watched it, and it's really, really, really.
Is that the American version?
Yeah, it's the American version. It's so respective of the book. The only difference is there are a couple things like they trimmed them for content and for time, and it was no problem. But the like her laptop breaking, they changed how her laptop breaks. In the book, she's putting a bike away and her motorcycle, and someone just accidentally backs over it,
Just seems like
leaving
such
in the
an
parking
odd
lot.
change to make.
Yeah,
Make her
and
laptop broke.
in the movie, they're like, we want to make her not identifiable, but we want to give her more personality. We want to give her a badass personality. You want to fuck this girl? She's crazy. So in the movie,
Naturally.
they changed.
Welcome to America. Everyone has to be a caricature of themselves.
Yeah, so in the movie, instead of her having her laptop backed over, someone tries to like steal her purse, and she grabs them and beats the shit out of them.
Naturally.
Jesus.
America.
And what in the scuffle, her laptop gets broken. Like she pushes the guy, like she punches the guy, and then grabs him and screams in his face on the elevator. And then like she throws her elevator or her bag. She slides it down the elevator on the side where it's like metal, and she runs after it and grabs it and gets on the subway, and her screen's broken. She's like, "Damn it!" So they give her, they make her more of a badass character. Like in the book, when she meets Blumfist, she's very on guard, but you also have a feeling of she's kind of helpless. In the movie, she has a taser in her back, and he's like, "I don't mean to alarm you." She goes, "If you touch me, I'll do more than alarm you." He's like, "Oh, he's like, that won't be necessary." She's like, "It fucking better not be." And she has a shirt that she literally is wearing a shirt that says, and I quote, "Fuck you, you fucking fuck."
Naturally.
And I
That's how Americans use Sweden, basically.
and I want that T-shirt. So,
It's on
So
Hot Topic.
it'd be great. But so it's a good movie. I highly recommend you see the film.
I mean, I will tell you now, though, if you're going to get
or
into
read the
anime, you're going to have to adopt this idea of no matter how good the American version is, you're going to only like the original version. Or else you lose
I-
your credibility forever.
I do like the Swedish version of Girl with Dragon Tattoo.
I'm just saying that's the hilarious thing in the anime community. It's like you can't like the dub or the American version or anything. It's always shit. And I'm like, well, it's not shit. No, it's always shit. It's always the worst.
But other than that, I haven't really been doing anything. Just eating some Bucky now. Had some noodles. I'm just looking to the HK.
Eating's good.
But yeah. There you go.
All right. I guess we're on to Brandon now.
Okay, so surprisingly, I have done quite a few things this week. First off, I've been getting a bit more into the Binding of Isaac.
Oh shit!
Rebirth or original?
Yeah, the Rebirth.
Okay.
I've gotten too far into the first one to say I've been getting into it. I played it on the PS Vita last time we spoke about it, and this time I've been playing a lot more on my PS4.
Wait, did we talk about Rebirth before?
Yes,
Yeah, he had
was that
mentioned
the
it
week
before.
I was gone?
possibly. I really don't know.
Alright.
Yeah, I don't.
Anyway.
And it's pretty interesting comparing the PS4 version to the Vita, because with the actual controller in your hand as opposed to playing on the Vita, it feels a lot better, personally, in my opinion. Because like the analog, like the PS4 controller feels a lot better suited than the Vita does. Because with the Vita, you have the screen. Just having a bigger screen makes it a lot easier. Because especially in some of the later areas of the game, it gets kind of dark and hard to see, like in the depths and in some parts of the caves section.
So, quick question. Does the PS4 version display any more on screen than the Vita, or do they always display like the full room at a time?
No, it displays the same amount of stuff on the Vita.
Okay. So it's just a bigger
On-
screen, just
On the Vita,
and probably
but just
better
having
brightness and all
the
that.
screen on an HD TV as opposed to your small Vita screen,
Yeah.
it definitely gives you a better feel. Makes it look a lot easier to figure things out.
Alright.
And they actually use the touchpad pretty well. Like you can use the touchpad to move the map around, so you can see where you're going a lot easier. And that's a nice little comfort feature. Aside from that, I also noticed that when I was playing on the Vita, I had like a 8 loss streak, but the moment I started playing on my PS4, I got into a 4-win streak on the Binding of Isaac. So I won my 4 runs in a row, whereas in the Vita I lost 8 games in a row.
So wait, is winning defined as getting to the end of the game?
Yeah, by beating the final boss, quote, depending on how many runs you've completed already, because the final boss change, you get more and more floors as you progress, as you beat.
Is
Yeah.
the game not that hard? In the sense that it can't... Because I always was under the impression it's one of those games like with most roguelites where it's like, oh my god, you actually beat that game. Unless
Oh, no,
like
no,
you're saying
you-
it gets harder.
You beat it, and it gets harder as the more you beat it.
Okay, I did not know that about Binding of
Yeah.
Isaac. That's interesting.
You beat it the way it was when you first play the game. You have 6 levels. You have the basement 1 and 2, the caves 1 and 2, and the depths 1 and 2. And at the end of the depths 2, you fight the first final boss, which is Mom. Once you beat Mom for the first time, it unlocks another section of the game, which is going into the womb 1 and 2. And at the end of the womb, you fight Mom's heart. And that's the final boss for the next 10 runs.
Yeah.
After that, you have the choice in the... I don't know how it is in the remake, but in the original game, you had the choice between going into Sheol, which was where you went to fight the devil,
Naturally.
or Cathedral, where you went to fight Isaac.
But you are Isaac.
Exactly. And if you choose
It gets fucked up.
and in the
Why the game isn't already fucked up.
and in Wrath of the Lamb, if you go into the cathedral and you have the Polaroid item by the end of your run, and they patched it later so that Mom, when you fight her in the depths 2, automatically drops the Polaroid.
Uh-huh.
Once you if you beat the Isaac, you can go into the ultimate room, which is the chest, where you fight the blue baby.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're like different final bosses
Yeah.
for like the number of different runs that you go through and all kinds of crazy shit. It's
And there's all sorts of achievements for beating each boss with a specific character. So you get new items the more you play the game. Yeah, and as you play the game several times, you unlock new items and new things in the dungeon, which will randomly generate. which gives you a bigger incentive to play through over and over again. So you get new items, new experiences, etc., etc.
See, I can double check this, but didn't this come out free for PS Plus?
For PS4,
Yeah.
Vita on PS Plus, it's this game for the month. I don't know. I think it's going to end like on Tuesday.
Yeah. I
So
don't
if
know
you
where I
want
put
it
but
for
I do
free
have
on PS Plus, you better get it now.
Although I know
course,
something
by the
coming
time-
for PS Plus
By the
for
time
free.
this recording goes up, it will actually be off. It will actually no longer be available on PS Plus for free.
But I know what's coming in December for free.
Yeah, I saw the list.
hmm
Fucking Deadly Premonition.
Which is a shame because I already bought that game on the PS3.
I have it on my PC, but I didn't install it yet. But I'm totally gonna install it on my PS3 and play it there, because hell fucking yeah.
And I find Binding of Isaac really interesting. It's a good game. Like, for example, I was playing it before my turn came up. And once I finish my turn, I'm probably going to start playing it again. Because the thing with Binding of Isaac is you can listen to something else while you're doing it, but you cannot talk really a whole lot while you're playing because you really need to focus on playing
Yep.
the game, or you will die.
Because you can't shoot diagonal.
Excuse me.
You can impart momentum to get that diagonal shot if you need it.
Yeah, just
I did claim it, so I'm downloading it now.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how you think about it, Sam, because you've never played the first game either, did you?
I literally played it for like 10 minutes and thought, well, this game's weird, and then never touched it.
I'm
So-
just glad that if I decide to play this again, I can use a fucking controller. Because
Even if you get the PC port for the PC version of Rebirth now has controller support as well.
yes,
Which,
Which I fucking
believe
hate
me,
it.
that makes it so much better because certain items like Brimstone, you need to hold the fire button down to charge them up, and that is complete hell on your fingers and wrists. Doing it on the
Yep.
arrow keys.
It's so weird that
Yep.
all these games I've been playing lately play better with the controller, and it's like I feel like we're seeing the death of the mouse and keyboard.
it's weird how like the 360 controller became like the standard. It's
Yep. I
Yeah.
was looking at buying an Xbox One controller off Amazon today for my PC.
Oh, and by the way, the PS4 controller, just as an FYI, just as like an aside, is super comfortable.
I totally forgot you got a PS4.
So I'm playing Binding of Isaac on right now, actually.
Yeah, so it's PS4 and Vita, right? It's not like PS3
Yeah.
Vita?
PS3 does not have the game at all.
Okay. So I'll be playing on my Vita then.
Yeah. It's
I'm
like the
actually really
PS4.
surprised. I'm really surprised that Borderlands 2 can be played on the PS Vita.
I
Like
would
it's
suggest
able
it.
to run through the whole world.
I heard
Uh,
the port of that was not good.
It's pretty
Oh,
bad.
shit.
it's
What's the
I heard
best you
it's-
could do?
I heard it's okay. Just if you want to do co-op, you can only do co-op with 2 people.
I mean, like, I
So-
saw Giant Bomb play it at some point. Was it Giant Bomb? I could have sworn it was them. They did like a... Yeah, because the Vita TV, when they first showed that off, they put in Borderlands, and it was like, oh, man, this is...
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean,
Like,
going
a
from
lot,
a
of,
Vita.
lot of props to Iron Galaxy. They fucking tried, but that's a lot of game to cram into a Vita.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, it plays this? Okay, so
Yeah, I
doesn't.
mean, it plays it, but... And it runs alright. Just
Probably not
looks
well.
Not good. Just play it on your PC, if you can help it.
yeah.
Or any
It's
console.
fun.
I forgot that those games come on consoles too. They don't come with crazy discounts. Anyway,
So yeah,
sorry,
aside from Binding of Isaac, you know how I said I finished my season of Atlas and stopped playing Persona games and Shin Megami Tensei games and all that?
Oh, so between the
said
podcast
that.
starting and an hour later, that just changed already? Did Atlas announce like 3 more games while we were gone?
I bought Persona Q.
Damn it! I'm buying Persona Q!
I
Can't both buy
I-
Persona Q,
Persona.
somebody's gonna have to change.
I got all the tarot cards, and I now have Persona Q.
So how do you get all the cards? Because I saw the special edition only comes in
The
like,
first 11 came with Persona 4 Arena's pre-order.
That's you crazy bastards. Because I'm like looking like this is how fucking insane I am for Persona and more specifically Persona 3. I was gonna get the download version of Persona Q because I have a 32 gig card. I want everything downloaded, and then I was gonna buy the special edition of Q just so I can get the case, the cards, the art. book, and the
Really?
CD.
Jesus.
I said was not doing. God, I fucking hate physical copies so much. So I'm like, I might just get the.
There are a
special
lot of
edition.
people who would strongly disagree with you.
Dude, one of my
it
friends at
depends.
work wants me dead because I'm buying digital copies of stuff.
I don't think it's wrong if you buy digital copies, but I don't think you should just outright say all physical copies are bad and outdated.
It's just-
That's
no, I didn't. Wait, did I say that?
Yeah, you just
no,
did.
but I mean, you
I
said
didn't
you
say that. I
hate
mean,
physical
I don't
copies.
want any physical copies.
Okay, but
No, I don't think poorly of them. Do what the hell you want, but I prefer digital if I can help it.
that's fine.
I'm getting Hyrule Warriors channeling my anger.
We don't have to beat you now.
Yeah,
That was what it sounded like.
I think I'm
Everyone's
just
like,
gonna end
"Fine,
up getting
good."
like the regular disc version just so I can get all the special edition stuff off Amazon.
It depends for me. Like, if it's available on Steam or Origin, I'll get the digital version. But if it's like on Xbox, I don't want to
I mean, to be
download
fair,
it. I
when you
want
say
to
Steam
actually.
Origin,
Buy
you're talking about PC. Who the fuck buys digital PC things anymore? It's not from Blizzard.
it. Yeah.
Like, that's just not a thing. With the DS, though, it's like, it's cool extras, and it's like, basically, do I care about the extras more, or do I care about the convenience of download copies?
Well, I know. As a side note, I know I'm going to buy a physical copy of Dragon Age Inquisition because
Really?
I want that game for. Well, I want that game for Christmas, and the fact that I've seen a physical copy in my local store, it's like, oh, cool. So I can get this for Christmas, and I can go under my tree because how do you ask your family for digital games for Christmas? Like,
I don't, which is why they keep asking me, like, what do you want? I'm like, just buy me DVDs of anime. That's all I care about.
I actually, well, to me, it's like, I want some PC games, but it's like most of them are fucking digital. So how do I
buy
ask
me
them?
cards that have monetary value attached to them.
I mean,
Steam cards.
They do have that in some cases, but like GameStop, all they'll do is they'll put it on a fucking receipt, and which is lame.
It's
But-
a very hollow feeling. I've
God.
done it before for friends. It's kind of sucks because it's just a piece of paper that says,
Yeah.
"Hey,
This
I
is
spent
really
a lot of money on you."
annoying. I got into a room in Binding of Isaac where they gave me like every fucking boss in the game at the same
Good.
time. I
you
just beat
deserve.
them all.
Wow.
You deserve it.
That's so fucking annoying.
I hate
It's
like.
not meant to, not meant to be easy.
What if you? What if you're someone like me who like when you buy something and they give you a receipt, you're like, ah, cool, thanks, and you immediately throw it out. Like, what if it's like, oh shit.
Yeah,
I should just
you-
print it on.
I always check receipts for download codes of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that was the thing with GameStop. Like when you pre-ordered stuff, it's like, here, the download card's on the receipt, and I'm like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
If I don't punch this
Even,
in
like-
immediately, I'm gonna lose it.
You can even like just buy straight $20 of PSN and just get the code on receipt. Don't even need the card.
Yeah.
Something, or even like Steam dollars, anything like that at
Take all of the
GameStop.
fun out of it. Just give you a piece of paper.
A fadey piece of
All the
paper.
joy. Anyway, Persona Q. I forgot that.
Oh,
that
Yeah,
that
yeah,
devolved
we were
into a whole
talking
I-
about that.
I also saw Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1, which was good. Okay, sorry.
Ooh.
So yeah, about
We'll get
Persona
back to
Q.
It's a game.
For those of you who are not aware, the gist of Persona Q is that Persona 3 and Persona 4 characters got together. Fun times.
Dude, you have no...
Sup-
In fact, you do have a fucking idea how much I love Persona 3, because we've talked about that many times.
Yes, and you're
Super
always
happy.
wrong.
And I remember
I will
you taking
defend that to
issue-
the death.
I remember you taking issue with this game simply because of the fact that they were saying that this is supposed to be canon, but the ending of Persona 3 kind of makes it like, how the fuck could this be canon with the main text?
If there is no possible way this is a canon game, it's
Bear in mind, I've not
if
finished
you
Persona 3.
if even like the first I've played the first 10 minutes of the Persona 4 story. I mean the first like couple hours of the Persona 4 story, and there's no possible way it's canon because it takes place in the middle of of Persona 4. It takes place during the Culture Festival of Persona 4.
Weird.
So it's not possible for it to be canon. Unless they do some weird time travel shit that I don't want to even
Maybe
think
there's a
about.
TV involved.
Maybe.
Maybe all the cast Persona 3 went into a TV.
But yeah, when you load up the game, you have the choice between starting as the Persona 4 cast or Persona 3 cast. And naturally, I chose the Persona 4 cast.
Oh, you chose the wrong cast. I'm so sorry.
The worst part is that the first and last names, they only give you 6 letters per name. So you only have 6 letters for the first name, 6 letters for the last name. So the canonical Yu Narukami is not a name you can use in this game. You cannot use the character's canonical name.
Oh, you know what? You know what's funny is that
You
no
don't have enough
joke,
letters for it.
when I saw you talking about that, I totally thought you were talking about the Persona 3 character, and I was like, he chose the wrong name for some reason. Because I literally thought you were talking about Persona 3.
So I decided to name Persona 4 protagonist lead protag.
Genius.
Because fuck anything else.
That kind of
Fuck immersion.
sucks, though, that like it explicitly forbids you from naming them you or any of the canonical names.
Well,
Like,
you can fit you just
You
can't
can
fit his last name.
you can put like the name from the manga Soja Seta in there, but that's not the same as Okami. I couldn't even use my own name because my first name has 7 letters in it.
Yeah, to be fair though, that's more of a problem with the because if I'm not mistaken, this is like the straight up same engine as Etrian Odyssey.
Yes.
So
And
that's
the
a problem
Etrian
with that
Odyssey
engine.
designers
It's a
were
6
part of-
character. Yeah, it's just like how their menus work out. They're
And
all
the
like that.
designers of Etrian Odyssey were part of the design of the team for this game. Like it is it's basically like a crossover in terms of mechanics between those Persona and Etrian Odyssey.
While Brendan's talking about this, I'm gonna find my DS and spend more money real quick. Okay, let's see.
Because fuck that special edition
Oh.
on Amazon.
I,
really
just- I
I'm
don't
really
know,
not
man.
smart enough in the story to tell you much beyond the fact that the characters will cross over eventually, and they added 2 new characters to the cast named Zen and Ray.
They just keep adding characters to the cast, and it's like I think there's enough to go around, guys. Like, jeez,
Like, how many of these dudes are going to be in Persona 5?
that would be
All
really
of them.
weird if like the bonus characters from Ultimax for Persona 5 be like, what?
They're all gonna make cameos.
I really wonder if they're gonna make any Persona 5 references. Like, if at some point they're ever gonna be like, you are a slave.
They're gonna have a field trip to Inaba in Persona 5
Uh,
to see
away
how
from-
Yasogami High has evolved in the past few years.
I mean, I guess this thing is like, don't get me wrong, I love Persona 4 to death, but it's just so funny or like weird and angering and funny and great that like if you like the game prior to that, and then someone's like, no, this is the best one, this is the one everybody talks about, and it's like, what about that other one that I liked? It's like, nah, fuck it, it's not as good as the other one.
So
Well,
when did they dance all night?
the problem is that it's not.
Like, it was just funny to me because like 4 was the one that fucking exploded, and it's
Yes.
like 3 is just completely overshadowed, and nobody
Because like I
talks
was
about
saying
3 because
before,
of
the
that.
characters in 4 are just so much more relatable to the characters than 3.
Yeah, but I don't care about relatableness of characters.
But going back to Persona Q,
No, we're never gonna finish this conversation. Persona Q.
they changed up the battle system a lot to incorporate. I'm guessing stuff from Etrian Odyssey, but I haven't played the game, so I can't really comment on that.
This would be a great podcast to have Taylor on because he played all of those games.
Because the way it works is that every character has a main persona that's the class persona that they're associated with. Like for your Persona 3 protagonists, it's Orpheus. For Persona 4 protagonists, it's Izanagi, etc., etc. The ones that you know that they're most commonly associated with. And they can't change that persona. That's the persona that they're going to equip with the entire game. It's their main persona, but they can also equip a sub persona, which basically gives them an augmented set of skills along with their main persona set of skills, plus a bonus to HP and spirit power.
Okay, wow, I just looked at that link. That's a lot of shit they give you for
it's a hell of
this
a
game.
special edition.
What the?
You get the
I
tarot
pre-ordered
cards, you
that.
get a case, you get an art book, you get a CD, you get a
It's
special
pretty cool. You
box.
get tarot-
that?
Yeah, I got that. That was
Now
what
you
I-
see my
that's what-
problem?
That's what I got.
I want to get a
Yep.
digital version. It's like, but look at all this stuff for just Persona fans.
Just don't get the digital version. Leave the game in your DS.
It's true.
That
It's a
case
better-
is really nice, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Yeah, I was talking to Susan Arnett of Joystick about it, and she was like, it's actually a really good case to use. And I was like, I could probably use one for my DS. Also, I think it's funny that it's a 3DS XL because, come on, who owns a regular 3DS? Everyone owns the XL.
back to Persona Q.
Back to Persona 3, you were saying?
So, like I was saying, you have a main and a sub persona. The sub persona affects it gives you extra skills and a boost to HP and SP. So the way combat works is that, like a Persona game, you exploit weaknesses and you gain bonuses from that. Unlike Persona 3 and 4, the way you get a bonus is that when you exploit a weakness, you get what's called boost. And when you're boosted, on the next turn, you will go first. Like, every boost character will go before any other non-boosted character goes. And any skills you use will have their cost reduced to 0. So if you exploit a weakness once, you can keep doing that over and over, and you will never run out of SP because you keep casting spells at no cost.
So how is this not broken?
If you get hit at all, you lose your boost.
Okay. Does the AI change in that it'll always try to go for the one using boost?
It seems semi-random. Some enemies will just go after boosted characters almost exclusively, and some won't.
I wonder if there is some kind of, like, pattern set when they first join, so that way you can just say, here's the one that's constantly attacking my boost character, kill this one first so we can focus on the rest of the battle. I don't know. I don't understand how game programming works.
And regarding going back to the sub-persona, the thing that gives them a benefit is that when you start a battle, you get that bonus HP and SP, but that's only in the battle. So when you end the battle, you lose that bonus. So as a result, if you don't use up that SP, you got a free battle. You didn't lose any magic points when you casting those spells because that was your sub-persona SP you used up, not your actual SP.
I'd be really happy if we can finally move on to RPGs from just like fucking mana and health potions. Like, say what about Fantasy 13. I really liked it. At the end of every battle, it was like, look, you're good. Just go on to the next battle. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
get potions set up and all that.
That's been an interesting problem with the SMT franchise because they want you to use MP clearly so that you keep getting press turns, but at the same time, the MP costs for skills can be really high sometimes.
Yeah. Especially for like, I want to get through this battle quickly, or I know what the weakness is. I'm just going to exploit the enemy's weakness. But to do that, I'm going to lose a lot of fucking magic points that I wish I would have later.
And in those games in particular, magic points are very, very valuable.
That's why you keep tap soda on you at all times. Like hundreds of them. I wonder if somebody ever drew like a webcomic that was just like a picture of the characters just like holding backpacks full of tap soda and just constantly chugging tap soda.
Like the Bosch Infinite comics of Booker opening trash cans, eating pineapples out of them.
Yes. I always love seeing like those things realized where it's like, here's what is actually happening that you're just, when you're sorting through menus.
Well, no, you smuggle those sodas under your school uniforms.
I don't know how. You smuggle like 17
The same
weapons.
way that Kanji apparently smuggles a desk
pockets
from school under his outfit.
I forgot about that. You know why I forgot about that? Because nobody uses kanji. Come on.
Funny thing is that I don't
Persona
use it in
humor.
Persona Q either.
Hashtag Persona.
My party
humor.
is currently the protagonist, Chie, Yukiko, Naoto, and the new guys, Zen and Rei, because they form one character slot.
I mean, Persona 4, I'll give you that. Naoto, pretty awesome person. I don't know what to call him.
And they also bring up they also have the front row back row thing that a lot of RPGs used to do. Like you have you have 3 slots in the front row and 3 slots in the back row, and you can have up to 5 people in your party total. And characters like Naoto and Yukiko, since they have throwing weapons and Naoto has a gun, they don't lose any damage from attacking from the back row. So you might as well put them in the back.
Naoto just has a fucking gun in Japan.
Well, she's a detective.
Yeah, a detective naturally has guns. I played Evil Within. He's got a gun.
In the characters Zen and Rei, they have crossbows as their weapons.
Naturally.
Well, of course. Well, Zen's the one that actually fights. Rei just does the healing for those guys. And the way they work is that they're actually unique because they don't have a persona.
Huh.
Those characters don't have a persona, but they somehow still are able to cast magic spells.
They just tag team.
Do they explain it?
I'm only like 7 hours into the story.
Oh, so you fucking
like I'm still in like Act 1.
So is my new goal to finish Persona Q before Brandon, so I can have that.
You're not going to succeed in that. You know how much faster I burn through these things than you do.
I could just have that one little trophy, like that Chris could send me that just says Sam beat Brandon once in an SMT game.
Yep.
Just one time, I finished one before he did.
Be like Game Grumps versus like Sam wins.
Yeah,
Sam wins. Close
as
video.
a trade-off, so they don't get the bonus SP from having sub-personas. They get refunded for any SP they use for exploiting weaknesses in a battle.
So I need to go check up on some reviews, but it seems like the thing that I've seen, the general consensus is that even if you don't like Entry and Odyssey games, it's kind of like the Hyrule Warriors effect of like if you like the source material enough, it's just good regardless because you just desperately want more of that source material.
But that's enough for combat. But as for the exploring of Persona Q, I honestly don't. The thing is that in Persona 4, dungeon exploration was fairly straightforward, and it wasn't 3 as well. You just go and find the stairs and you'd move on.
Yeah.
In Persona Q, there's a lot more like typical JRPG puzzle solving in the dungeons. I'm not entirely sure I like it, honestly, because I kind of prefer Persona 4's streamlining of dungeon crawling.
Well, is it, I was gonna say if it's like Etrian Odyssey, but you wouldn't know. Do you have to draw your own map in this game?
Fucking yes.
Okay, so
Oh,
it's like
shit.
Etrian Odyssey.
Yeah,
I mean, some people love that shit.
the bottom of the DS is exclusively almost for making your map.
I
Oh,
mean, I liked it in Etrian Odyssey a little bit. I don't know if it gets tedious after like 7 hours, 20, or 50.
See, the problem is if you see a door, you have to mark it on the map. If you see a special event area, you have to mark it on your map, else you're going to forget it. And I honestly, I really don't like that. I've kind of gotten used to games doing that tedious bullshit for me.
yeah, because, like, this isn't the fucking 80s anymore when we're playing original NES Metroid and we need a fucking piece of graph paper to know where the hell we're going.
Or Dungeons and Dragons, if you want to go even further back.
Oh,
God.
man, let me tell you about my wizard. My lizard wizard.
Lightning
I don't
bolt.
think you...
No, I've played D&D once. I had a friend of mine who's a DM. I played a game called Maids once that was sort of based off D&D.
Of course you would.
It was not a... I once wrote... I basically wrote down what happened in our Maids game once, and it's the worst thing I've ever written, which means it's the best fan fiction that has never existed.
Great.
I should send it to you, because I have not edited it once.
I...
It's typos everywhere.
But yeah, going back to Persona Q. Episode
Dude, can we
18,
just call
yeah,
this
going back to Persona Q.
That's the best title. It's so relevant.
But yeah, going back to Persona Q.
Yes.
I really don't care too much for the map making, honestly. And you do a lot of other weird things too. Like you're limited to having only you can only bring 10 items with you, period, into a dungeon. So like if you have 5 medicines, that means you only have 5 more slots for items to bring with you into a dungeon.
Whoa. So your inventory is across everything?
Yeah.
Does that include equipment? I'm guessing if you don't have it equipped, you have spaces for weapons and stuff?
Well, you can carry 10 consumable items, and you have 50 slots for loot items. And that would count as loot. That would count as loot.
Okay, so 10 consumables, which would include... What else do you get besides potions? Buffs and debuffs and stuff like that?
Well, revival items and all that. That would count as consumables.
Trying to think of what would fill up all that space beyond...
Regular status element cures.
Okay. Eye drops, Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah.
Cure for blind, probably. Going back to Persona Q.
Yeah, it's...
Sounds cool.
I'm liking it so far because I've finally gotten used to the boosting system, because the way it works is that if you have 3 characters at the end of the turn or more boosted, you can do an all-out attack. I mean, as long as your lead character is still standing.
So it really sounds like a modified version of Etrian Odyssey to fit Persona.
It feels like a fusion of Etrian Odyssey and Persona.
Yeah. So I guess the main thing I want to ask you, though, is it a good Persona game in spite of the Etrian Odyssey base, or is it just flat out a good game? Do you like the Etrian Odyssey bits, or do you
Odyssey
tolerate
stuff,
them?
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. The map making is annoying sometimes, but it's not too bad because, I mean, you only have to mark special areas. The map is automatically generated still. When you're walking into a space, it'll say that there's a space in the map.
Yeah, you just have to draw your walls and obstacles and stuff like that.
Yeah. And your doors and shit. But other than that, it's not terrible, the map making. You just gotta remember to do it, because I kept forgetting in the first couple floors of the dungeon of the labyrinth, and trying to find your way when you haven't really marked your map much at all is not too fun.
I haven't played it yet, but overall I think it's really cool that Persona is branching out to other stuff. I have not hit the saturation point where I don't want any more Persona. Even with 4, which I feel has gotten way more than any other fucking Persona combined as far as extra games. I still think it's hit that point, because Dancing All Night I still think is coming out.
And I have no interest in that, honestly.
Yeah, and then we got 5, and we have Q now. Wasn't that everything from like the big reveal
Yeah.
days? It was Ultimax, Dancing All Night, Q, and 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Persona 5 starring Harry Potter.
So at this point, we know about all the future Persona unless they announce something out of nowhere. Which
Yeah.
there probably will be another fighting game at some point if they're just going the Blaze Blue style.
Well, I mean, the thing with Persona 4 Arena is that there were loose ends that need to be tied up in Ultimax, but now that they don't have those loose ends anymore, I really don't know what they could do.
Oh right, I forgot there was a story to that game.
Yeah. Want me to tell you about the hours and hours of cutscenes, Samuel Callahan?
Okay, you want to talk about Persona 3? Is that what we're talking about?
No.
Okay, so Persona 3, what did you name your character?
I gave him my name.
I can't remember what I named.
Brandon Carey.
Like you have like Yuki and you have Misato
That
and
reminds me,
Brandon.
I need to change my Twitter name out of Brandon Lee Cranberry.
Yeah, that's true.
It's gonna be Brandon Lee Mary at the end of this.
I was gonna say, would it be Brandon Lee Blackberry?
No, Brandon Lee Mary. It's Christmas time, dude.
Oh, I was gonna say Black Friday. Joke. Whatever.
Yeah, that's my talk about Persona Q.
Yeah. We're gonna figure out by the end of this podcast, or by the time I go to bed tonight, whether I'm getting the physical or the digital edition.
Get the physical stuff, dude. That case is amazing,
Oh, but it fucking looks so good.
and the art book.
Oh, you want the art book?
I have a friend of mine who's really, really into art books and soundtracks. Like back when Assassin's Creed, like
The
2 came
soundtrack
out.
only had the soundtrack. Honestly, is not that worth it. It only has 4 tracks on it. Although
Wow.
honestly, the battle music to Persona Q is better than Reach Out to the Truth, in my opinion.
Which
I
one's
like
Reach Out
it
to the
better than I
Truth?
do
Is
Reach
that
Out to
Golden
the
or
Truth.
4?
And I don't make that statement lightly because I love Reach Out to the Truth.
Is that 4 or Golden? I don't know.
4.
Okay, I know
4
3
is
and 3
time to make
portable. I know the
gold
names
is
of
time
those.
to the golden one's time to make history, and I
Right.
didn't really care about that one all that much.
Which one is Wiping All Out? Is that 3 or 3 portable?
That's 3 portable.
Right.
If you play as the girl.
Yeah, she had a great one. And then it was 3 that was the Lotus song, and I can't remember the name of it.
Mass
was.
Destruction.
Mass Destruction. God, I have the soundtrack for Persona 3. It's actually pretty good.
I've downloaded a lot of those songs onto my hard drive.
It's fucking... I remember that was what got me into, like, rap music when I was younger. I was like, Lotus is so cool! And then you realize there's, like, nothing else you can find by him.
If you
It's
like
great.
those soundtracks, you probably like some of the ones from the earlier Shin Megami Tensei games, like Digital Devil Saga. You might want to check out those soundtracks. They're good.
Yeah, I just downloaded Overclocked for my 3DS.
Oh, I still have to play that one
Yeah.
if I ever feel like it. That's
looks
gonna be a
cool,
while because after Q, I will probably be atlased out for a while.
Will you?
Tune in next week for I bought Overclocked. Just so I can beat it before Sam.
I'll let you have that one.
Okay. Finally, I'll
I
get
don't know,
one!
'cause I don't know, Brandon. We still got to hear what your thoughts are on Dance All Night. That's
I'm not getting Dance All Night. That's not
If it's
happening.
anything like Project Diva F, which I think it is, I will buy the shit out of that.
awesome.
even
You tell
care
me
if it's-
all about how much I probably won't care about it.
I don't even care if it's Persona 4 characters. I will still buy the shit out of it.
You're just a Miku weeaboo.
It's a good game, man. It's probably my favorite. No, it's the original Guitar Hero 2. They're probably my favorite rhythm game ever.
But yeah,
Miku's up there.
we can move on to your turn if you want, Sam. I'm done. I mean, unless you want me to talk about Black Friday.
Actually, can you excuse me
I
for
don't-
like 1 minute? So
okay.
just
So
talk
how
about
did your Black Friday? So how did your Black Friday go?
My feet are killing me.
Oh shit.
I mean, they're fine now, but when I got home today, because I had 3 8-hour shifts in a row.
Ugh.
That hurts, especially when you're on your feet all day.
I imagine.
Because on Thursday, I worked on Thanksgiving from 4:30 to 2 a.m. And that was not fun. I was half asleep for most of the late half of that shift. Fortunately, the gaming aisle didn't get hit as hard as the other sections did in my store.
Ouch.
Surprisingly enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was tough. Black Friday was at least double that traffic.
Oh, ouch.
Had on Thanksgiving Day. It was organized chaos in the store.
I'm surprised it's organized at all. It's
Well, we have some pretty good managers and supervisors in our store that are pretty good at keeping things under control because they're a bit more experienced than a lot of the other guys in other stores.
they're not fucking douche assholes.
And they have there was like a 2-hour line in there because I had naively thought to myself, maybe at the end of my shift I'll do some shopping. Then I saw a line and that's not happening. I'm not doing that. I'm not waiting in line for any sort of deal. Not 2 hours. That's not happening. You people are crazy. And if you go on Black Friday, I think you're a sad individual. If you go on Thanksgiving, I think you're a very sad individual.
Oh, I got a story
saw
for
that.
you.
What was it like?
I will
Walmart
agree with that
6
one.
p.m. on Thanksgiving, and I'm like, fuck
We opened up at 5.
Yeah.
We opened
They
up at
really
5 p.m. I had to be there at 4:30 to open up at 5 p.m.
They really do not give a shit.
Nope, they just said, family values, fuck it.
You know what? And the weird thing is, to me, a midnight release
Because
on Black
fuck our
Friday,
employees.
a midnight on Black Friday, that seems fine to me. But Thanksgiving, no.
Yeah. I know a friend of mine, Mika, at one point tweeted a thing I found hilarious, which was it was something along the lines of Thanksgiving has now been canceled in honor of Black Friday. And
It's
like, oh,
yeah,
God, it's going to turn into that at some point.
My coworkers called it Gray Thursday.
It's fucking disgusting. So my family, members of my family decided to go out and take advantage of the Thursday night 6 p.m. sale on Thanksgiving.
Don't they?
I know
they have families?
It was like we had our dinner and stuff, but they decided to go out because they wanted the cheap prices on movies and DVDs and such. And granted, yeah, they got good deals on movies and stuff. But by the way, I think it's getting ridiculous to spend that amount of money on movies to begin with, simply because a Netflix account kind
Don't
of
take offense to this, Chris. I think your family is a sad individual. The part that went to Thanksgiving. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just because, like I said, they went out at 6 p.m. to do this, and okay, sure, you got really good deals on whole seasons of TV shows and new release movies, but it was like, was it worth? They were in line for an hour, if not longer. I'm not kidding. I'm like, was it really worth that? Because to me, no. Because to me, if I really need to watch a movie that bad, I will go to Netflix.
It.
Yeah. And granted, I know streaming is not ideal for everybody, but for God's sakes, before streaming, I could wait until that movie got cheaper. Like, if there was a movie out and I couldn't afford it, well, I'm going to wait till it gets cheaper, because sure enough, it did not take longer for it to go down from $20 to $10.
I do this kind of stuff on Cyber Monday. I just go on Amazon or whatever other site I'm looking at, and I will do all of that Black Friday shopping from the comfort of my recliner at home.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what I kept on my coworkers. They're one of them was super excited about Black Friday and shopping, and I was like, why would I do that when I can go on Amazon in my underwear and order all the shit I want? Order clothes and stuff on Amazon. It's like, fuck, I can't.
I can get home from class, sit in my recliner, open my laptop up, and say, let's see what the deals are today, and get 2 days shipping from Amazon.
Like, the idea of all the bullshit you go through for Black Friday, to me, that just seems archaic. It's like there's no need for that when I can go online.
The weird thing with Black Friday is that literally nobody likes it, but it's necessary. Like the benefits that everyone gets are too good for anyone to stop.
Yeah.
For example, retailers can't stand it. They'd rather start around September and then have those deals more evenly distributed throughout that entire block of the year.
Mm-hmm.
If they could, they would. But no one wants to shop until after Thanksgiving.
Yep.
So as a result, we have Black Friday.
Yes.
However, at the same time, people who shop at Black Friday generally don't like it all that much.
Yeah.
But they'll tolerate it for the deals.
Mm-hmm.
So you have this interesting mutual suckage from everyone involved in order to get something.
I like
Sorry?
suckage. I said mutual distaste might be better, but mutual suckage is also pretty alright.
From all parties involved to do things that they really don't want to do, but by necessity they have to do because for retailers in particular, Black Friday and that whole time frame makes up almost half of their sales for the entire year.
It's
Yeah.
fucking incredible.
It is frightening.
Like theoretically, the way it works is that you were in the red from like January until the beginning of November, and then after that you're in the black, and that's why it's called Black Friday.
Hmm. But to move on to more pleasant things, at least I hope so, Sam.
Oh jeez. Oh,
Tell us about Hatsune Miku, you weeaboo.
I did not play any Project Diva F2 this past week. I'm just
Oh my god!
yeah. I played a bit more Project Diva F1 because I went. Brandon was here.
I'm no
last
longer
time.
proud of you. Fuck you.
When the podcast ended, Brandon could literally hear me boot up my Vita, and I was just sitting there failing the same song over and over. So I was trying to talk to him, and I was like, "I'm playing this on extreme. I can't fucking do this." Like it would just start at the same opening 20 seconds and fail.
You know, I was proud of you until you admitted that.
Yep.
I was proud of you for not playing that, but then you played another equally weeaboo game.
On my Vita, no less. So I can do that in public while
Well, it doesn't
people are
matter.
watching.
It's fine.
I only play Hatsune Miku in public. I want them to watch. What's funny is that last week I talked about all the crazy fucking games I bought, even the week prior, and then this past week I think I only played 2 games, which is kind of mind blowing to me. So I did make it a lot further in Far Cry 4. I've been playing that a lot more.
How is Pagan Min?
Or Pagan Men, as Super Bunny Hop kept joking.
So here's my question for you. And you
Yeah.
played a good amount of Far Cry 3, right?
Yeah, I beat it. And then got halfway through it again with a mod installed.
So, what are some of the main, some of the similarities you're noticing in this game as opposed to 3? Just how similar is it to you? Does it feel the same? Does it feel like it has its own identity?
How's it taste?
I mean, structurally, it's essentially the same game as far as when you open up the map, there are different letters that correspond to the people you can talk to, and there are outposts to overtake, things to collect. But I mean, there's more stuff now.
Does it do you feel like you may have gotten a substantial sequel, or does it just feel like a fucking expansion almost?
That's a really tough one, because to some degree it does kind of feel like a skin, but there are definitely enhancements. It's hard to say because I really, really liked Far Cry 3. So when I saw this, I was like, alright, it's more Far Cry, it's a new story. I don't really care for the story that much thus far, but mostly because everybody kind of sucks and is a dick. Yeah. It had also this, really weird moment, there's probably a certain point, I'm sure Brandon could also say this really well, or rather relate to this. The idea that, the more games you play, the more jaded you become to these tropes that you see. It's I saw one where it's you free some guy from being tortured because somebody told you to, and then you sit in the chair and you put the burlap mask on your face, and then the guy comes out, and it's just, of course, the trope of oh, he's actually a good guy. He's talking to his daughter, and he's talking to his daughter about doing drawings and stuff, and it was oh, so you're saying that the guy who tortures people actually is a real family man? What a fucking surprise! And I was just sitting there stone faced the whole time.
You're checking off your list of tropes you expect.
It almost bummed me out, 'cause it's I would have just liked it if he was just a dick. At least that would make more sense. In Vaz, there was nothing redeemable about him.
Yeah.
Because they weren't trying to aim for
Like
that.
how in Deus Ex
His personality,
Revolution,
for some reason.
people might expect Preacher to betray you, but no, he's just a dick.
Yep.
He's not going to betray you. He's not going to do anything to hurt you. He's just
your
a
office
dick.
asshole that everybody has.
He's not going to do anything mean to you. He just thinks you're a prick and doesn't like you.
Yeah, it's just such a weird trope. And then sure enough, you capture him, and then it's he's why did you capture me? And it's it was for some lady whose name I can't pronounce, family. And then he starts laughing maniacally, and he's oh, they've been dead forever. I wrote the letters to her that were supposedly from her mom. And then, of course, he goes from being a dick to being really sappy when his phone rings. And he's oh, my daughter, let me talk to my daughter. And it's oh
It's
my God,
guy, you don't
I've seen
understand.
so many
Some
films with this
Anglo-Saxon
trope.
white male child died. Fuck your species.
It's so full of tropes like that. And like I said, they're the other characters. Sabal and Amita are the two. And, all the Bing missions are basically which character do you want to side with. you know, they always come down to, like, you hear one proposal, and the whole idea is that Sabal is a lot about traditional values, and Amita's about, like, very progressive stuff. So it'll come down to, like, there was one mission I took at a tea factory, and Sabal's like, alright, you need to burn down this house and get rid of the opium fields. And then Amita's like, why would you burn down the opium fields? That's money. And he's like, well, we don't want to turn it into a drug country. And he's like, well, we're not going to have any money if we don't sell drugs. So you kind of get that, and then it tries to inject this depth where she was like, you know, we come from a culture where you decide who you're going to marry at the age of 7. And I was like, yeah, but I guess that's the correct term for...
change between those two ages.
Well, it's... What I'm trying to get at is that I think this is the correct use of cognitive dissonance, where they try to tell this really deep story while I'm riding on elephants and blowing up trucks with my crazy AK. Like, I'm not sure if that's the correct use of that word, but it's like, you tell this really deep story.
Well, no, cognitive dissonance is when the things they're saying are going against the things you're doing.
Yeah, just this kind of obvious contradictive narrative.
So this is like a weird, like, sideways step from
when a game talks about how it's bad to kill people, but then you mow down 50,000 people.
The game is a bit of that, but I guess the bigger problem is more just general open world game problems, where it's like, since you're free to do whatever you want, you have this really weird moment where they talk about this really deep story and about, you know, who the people you're killing, and it's like, I'm just fucking riding elephants and skydiving out of jets and, you know, mowing people down, flamethrowers,
eating watermelons out of trash cans.
Yeah, it's just like, it's this really fun game, or like quote-unquote fun game that everybody's been saying, and this really serious story. Like, at least in Far Cry 3, like, the character was kind of a dick who was just a party boy. So there was this weird undercurrent of, like, it almost made sense.
The game literally starts with, all I wanna do is bang, bang, bang,
yeah,
bang.
it's the MIA
then
song.
Take your money. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it's a really good game, and it's definitely a better Far Cry game than 3, but I feel like something was lost when they did this story. Although, since last week, Super Bunny Hop did upload a video where he made an interesting comment that I didn't think about, which is, it's a really good setting that, like, never gets used. Like, nobody ever really thinks about Nepal as a setting. Because the only other place I can think of was Uncharted 2, I think, had it? It's 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's just really underutilized as far as, like, the Himalayan mountains area, and it's like, there's some cool stuff you could do with that area, as opposed to just the Middle East, or Russia, or a big city. It's like, it's cool.
Yeah.
Also, what I realized when I went up to the Himalayas for the first time, which is special missions that you can undertake, it kind of made me realize I wish more games had snow. Like, now that we've got this new advent of technology, every time I see snow in games these days, I'm like, I want more fucking deep snow with, like, footprints and icicles and caves.
Oh man, let me tell you about Lost Planet back when it launched on the 360.
I played it. I'm the only person alive who likes Lost Planet, I feel like.
Yeah, I know. The original Lost Planet, yeah, that game was sick.
Yes! Fucking somebody! It's the one
Yeah,
person who likes that game.
No, I would never say anything, like, super damning about that game. Like, I enjoyed the original Lost Planet.
I love the setting of that game. I thought it was cool.
It's Lost Planet 2 that sucked shit.
Yeah,
like,
Lost Planet 2.
But no, the original Lost Planet, I remember people talking about, like, you know, this is why the 360 and consoles like it are awesome, because of the fucking tech used on the snow. Like,
fucking snow tech.
I know.
But it's so weird that, like, this year we've just had glimpses between, like, Modern Warfare had, like, one cave and when you were in the Antarctic. Not Modern Warfare, Advanced Warfare. And then Far Cry 4 is the Himalaya missions. And it's just, like, these constant, like, teases of this. And I'm like, just give me a game that's in the snow, goddammit! Like, I don't know why I'm so fascinated with it, but there's so much cool stuff you could do tech-wise with it. Between, like, that and Blizzards and stuff. The rest of Far Cry 4, I mean, it's getting better. I've now played 11 hours according to Steam. The last time I checked in, I played, like, 2 hours, I think. 2 or 3. So I've figured out how the helicopter works. Which, a funny thing is that, people kept joking about the helicopter in Far Cry 4. How if you go too high, it starts beeping, and then it just turns off. And everybody jokes that's because there's, like, a ceiling to the game. But there's actually an end-universe reason why the helicopter does that. Because apparently it's so high up, altitude-wise, that there's not enough air for the rotors to put air under it.
Yeah.
And the air is so incredibly thin that the copter cannot stay aloft. So there's actually a straight-up, like, altitude ceiling. And it does have, like, an altimeter on it that spins up as you go up higher. So it's kind of like, it's funny because it is definitely a ceiling so that you can't just go over the mountains into the world of nothingness. But it is a great in-universe reason out of all the ones I've seen.
Yeah.
It's cool. But yeah, 4's been cool, like, just... I wish I could say more about it. I guess sort of pseudo related thing that I realized is that I felt like an idiot when I figured this out the other night, but for lately when I started the game, if I put it on high or very high, I got about 45 frames a second with my 3.5 hertz processor and a 780, and I was like, fuck, man, like this game, holy shit.
Like you have like fucking NVIDIA Titans in that thing. That's
I mean, it's a 780, so it's
God damn.
fucking crazy. So when I realized that, and then at one point, I don't remember what. What happened is that I opened up like another tab in Chrome because bear in mind I had like 30 tabs in Chrome open with videos and all kinds of article stuff. Because that's what I do. I just keep multiple windows open. And then at one point I had Far Cry and it crashed the game and it says you've run out of memory, and I was like, what? And then it occurred to me years later after I bought this PC that maybe Chrome is taking up so much memory that it's making games not play as well as they could.
God damn.
Because I'm used to having like so many tabs and windows open that it was using almost all of my 16 gigs of RAM.
I was gonna say, why the fuck do you have your web browser open while you're playing a game, idiot?
Like, I didn't know that was a thing. Apparently, it's just like
I have nothing on, like nothing in the background, anything, unless it's like late.
I mean, with like my laptop, I did that, but I didn't realize that even with 16 gigs of RAM, you could fill that shit up if you have like 30 tabs with videos open.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus, yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah,
like
so,
I'll have like a LOL recorder on in the background when I'm playing League, because that actually records your and saves your match for you to review later, as if you're spectating, which is kind of really cool.
So,
but yeah,
that was a really funny realization I had at about 4 a.m. Like, I just turned everything off, and until like GeForce Experience, like everything off, and I checked my RAM, and it was down to like 2 gigs, and I was like, okay. I booted up, and sure enough, I put it on ultra settings, everything maxed out, and it still runs at 60 frames a second. And I was like, man, a couple of years I did not know about this. This feels really weird. So,
close your web browser, idiot.
I don't know why I never thought about that. I suppose because when I had my laptop, I always had a TV that had random shit playing, so I never really considered that idea. But now that I've gotten that fixed, and putting that game on Ultra, there's some really beautiful sights. I think the only thing that's turned off is God rays, which, that's just like the way that light shines through trees and other really dense areas.
Right.
But like, if you get the right setup for a shot, it looks pretty incredible. Just like walking around and watching like dust kick up over, wood at an outpost, and the way the trees move and all that shit. It's incredible. So other than that, as I mentioned earlier, I played Assassin's Creed Unity because it ain't a good purchase unless you purchase it at 2 a.m.
Buddy.
I think it was like 1 or 2 in the morning. I decided to purchase it, and I was like, I guess I'm just gonna stay up and download this now.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So, I booted that up, and not nearly as bad as people made it out to be.
Yeah.
I would say it's
Really
actually
isn't.
above average. Not great.
I mean, especially since you are running on a PC, the platform that Ubisoft doesn't give two shits about.
Apparently. I cannot run that game at max settings without frame rate problems, which is probably an optimization thing.
Yeah, more than likely.
Of course, at some point you get diminishing results with textures. Sometimes they're just such little differences. But I guess where to start, like, I guess from a technical standpoint, there, because I mentioned that earlier when you're talking about 4 versus Unity graphics, there actually are some differences. Like, there's this real noticeable thing going on with next gen where textures got really soft. Like, if you look at like people's faces and stuff, like in Crysis 3, everybody has these really super detailed, hard-looking faces. And then you look at like Unity, it's like everybody has these really soft, almost like cloth-looking textures for their faces. It's kind of bizarre. It's weird to look at. But that game has, some really impressive cloth physics going on, even though technically I had some weird seizure stuff going on where like my scarf would just start spazzing out randomly.
I remember seeing weird shit like that in Injustice: Gods Among Us, where like characters with capes occasionally would freak out.
Yeah, just I don't know. I would love to see like what's going on in the background, just like what's causing the physics to just flip out. Also, I was kind of curious with their crowd AI because ever since 1, they've always touted their crowd AI and how that stuff works. But I could have sworn when they launched Assassin's Creed 1, they talked about I could have sworn they mentioned the idea that the crowd reacts and knows where you are. Because that's not the case in Unity. They will consistently bump into you if you're just standing in the middle of the road. And it's like either they don't know that the
We
player
have
character
realistic
exists, or they
AI.
just have a pathing or something.
We have realistic fish AI so that when you come in, the fish will swim away from you.
But apparently,
I can remember back when the first Assassin's Creed game came out,
yeah.
and people were saying how this is the closest we've ever seen to a real living, breathing city in a game.
We've come very far since 2007.
I guess, but
Yeah.
Was it 2007 or 8? Oh, it might have been 8.
I can't remember.
But yeah, that's like there are definitely a lot more people, and they do stuff. But I feel like at some point we kind of lost something. Like it, like early on Assassin's Creed, I could have sworn there was like more detail involved with them, and now it's just become a game of numbers. Like just look how many people we can render, as opposed to like how many unique AI strings we can render. Because they all just kind of mob together. Like they don't really seem to do much aside from walk around or mob. That being said, though, it can set up some really cool stuff. Like at one point, I guess I can use this segue into probably the coolest part I've seen, is that last week Brandon talked about how he thought these were some of the best assassination missions since 1.
Yes, I did.
I didn't know how he meant that until I got to my very first one, which is sequence like 3 or 4. It's basically like once you're in the Brotherhood, and
Yeah.
There's this guy
in Notre Dame.
Yeah. And basically outside the chapel, and then it had this really interesting cutscene, which I thought was kind of funny, the way they worded it, where Arno is basically like, alright, what's the plan? And he's like, it's your fucking plan, dude. Do whatever you want.
You're on the prince anymore, piss pot.
Piss pot. So,
Because your mentor character keeps calling your character piss pot.
Yeah. You were in jail with him. So I don't know. He calls you piss pot. So it had this really beautiful moment that I have not seen since Assassin's Creed 1, where the camera pans out, and instead of saying, go here and let's start the mission, it just says, 0 out of 10 doors unlocked, 0 out of 2 secret doors, you can steal this set of keys, you can talk to this person, you can climb up to the top of the chapel, do whatever you want, assassinate a target however you feel. It blew my fucking mind at 4 in the morning.
The mission entry screen changes. It says, assassinate X, and it will say, there are 5 different entrances to the building. There are X number of guards, Y number of secret entrances, and it'll highlight 2 different opportunities for you to make the mission easier on yourself.
Yeah.
Damn, that almost sounds progressive.
It was, like I said, part of it was that it was so early in the morning, I was tired, but it blew my fucking mind. I was like, this is what Assassin's Creed 1 was trying to be.
Yeah.
Like, it was just full open, just like, you can run in to the front door and you can kill the guys and kill them if you want. Or, like, the way I took it was I stole a set of keys, went up to the top of the chapel without anybody noticing, talked to some old guy, and he's like, oh, let me unlock the door for you. And I walked down with him, and I hung out with the organ player, and then went up to the top of the inside of the chapel, and then just dropped on top of the guy when he left behind everybody else. Like, he walked alone into a corridor.
I think what I did in that mission is that I stole the keys like you did, except I just climbed up the chapel, and I unlocked the door to the front, to the entrance myself. I stole the key and I opened it myself, and then I just dropped on the target as he was walking below me.
Yeah, it's just like, it was just mind-blowing, the idea that it's like you can do whatever you want to achieve this goal, and it's like, finally, after however many games, we have finally done what Assassin's Creed 1 was trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
so the whole thing with Assassin's Creed 1 was that the whole point was that you would get this intel that would make your assassination easier.
Yeah,
so
but
it
then
tell you
ultimately
things
it's like you can do what you want. Like, there was always one super scripted thing, at least for most assassinations, that you could line up that would be super cinematic. But otherwise, it's like you could assassinate him just walking around if you wanted to.
I mean, that was basically your mission start point, is when you go to that scene, like, okay, now you know why this guy needs to die. Now he's going to hide again. Now you got to figure out where he went and how to kill him.
Yeah. So, it's funny, because for how actiony Assassin's Creed started to get towards 4, like, it's, like, some people I even saw on Twitter said they didn't want Assassin's Creed to be stealth anymore, and I'm like, no, this is like a good return to form of assassin.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You fucking dolts.
Yeah, I want to be an assassin. Like I said, it's Hitman Light, but that's not a bad thing. That's a very good thing.
Yeah, so I think it kind of made me realize at this point, and granted I'll have to play further into it, but it gave me this idea that I feel like all the technical problems and the microtransaction stuff are overshadowing the really good parts of this game.
I know, and that's the worst thing, is that there's so much potential in this game, and there's stuff they really should keep going forward. It's just all the bullshit that Ubisoft did with this is going to overshadow that entirely, and I don't think it's going to learn their lesson because of that.
Yeah.
the currencies and the ability point shit that they put
Because I
into
mean,
the
if you
design.
divorce that whole Helix points bullshit, the customization is not bad at all.
Yeah,
It's actually a
like,
really good
I
conception.
was like, I'm a real sucker for character customization. So when it got to a point where it says you can build a really tanky dude who has a lot of health, I built for a super stealth guy who has very little health but can get into
I
cover
invested
quicker.
almost entirely in the stealth tree, except for that one like roll skill that
Yeah.
makes your fall damage
But I just mean
lesser.
like even like just the equipment is what I'm talking about, where you can like physically look different depending on what you choose.
Mhm.
Which is awesome. Like there's so many equipment options, and you can buy different kinds of weapons if you want that all have different attributes. There
Yeah.
are skill trees, which are actually pretty decent because it's things like, double assassinate, or like you can blend into benches, like some stuff earlier games like those two.
Yeah.
But you can buy like special sets of bombs, or you can buy special skills. It's like, fuck, man! Like this is the true sequel to like Assassin's Creed 2. Like this is what 3 should have been. The natural
What the
progression.
fuck was 4?
Four's fine.
4 is its own animal.
4 feel
Okay.
like a reaction, like a gut reaction to 3. I love 4, but it's not the traditional Assassin's Creed game in the sense of a stealth
It's a
game.
pirate game.
It's a jaunty action pirate
Yeah,
game.
but
It's not an
but that's what
Assassin's
makes
game.
it. But that's what makes it good, though.
It's
Yeah.
great. It's just,
Yeah, it's just
like,
it's
it's
great,
not-
but it's not really Assassin's Creed.
Do what you want because a pirate is free. You are a fucking pirate.
See, it's a good game, but it's not a natural progression from
pirate.
what 2 was.
It's a great game, it's just not a great Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. It's not... You get into some really weird semantics, but I don't feel like it lives up to the name that 2 set up, because I feel like it fell apart after, maybe arguably Brotherhood. But Brotherhood I consider an expansion pack. But it's
yeah.
like the idea that, like, 2 was the last one where it's like, it's about stealth, and then 3 got fucking trash.
3
and then-
became linear as fuck, and it was
Yeah.
so super boring.
Like, Revelations, I think, started down the action path, and then 3 just became that, and then
I
4
was actually
was
talking
just
to
like,
a
fuck it, we're an
coworker.
action game now. Like, stealth,
The
whatever.
other day, I was talking to a coworker, and he was like, "I felt so bad because I was just a fan of Assassin's Creed, but I couldn't finish 3." I'm like, "Don't,
Don't feel bad.
flat out, don't finish 3. Just watch it. If you really need to feel like you got some closure 3, watch a Let's Play, but do not play it. It's not worth your time."
I only did it because like you, I'm a pretty diehard Assassin's Creed fan. Like, I
Yeah.
just had to know for better or worse. And I'm kind of glad I played it, if only to know that it's probably one of the worst games I've ever played.
Yeah,
Or at least most
I-
disappointing.
I've written essays plural about how much I hate that game.
Yeah. I can't wait for Chris to start playing. It's going to be great.
I'm getting there.
So,
And I think you guys have actually read
3,
those essays
Assassin's Creed
plural
3.
about how I hate Assassin's Creed.
Oh,
back
Assassin's Creed 3, yeah, I heard it
back
wasn't
to
good.
Unity.
Right. So, while talking about equipment, I also had this really cool moment. I've had a lot of wow moments with this game, which makes me feel like I feel wrong when I like something that people adamantly dislike. Like, so many people are hating on this game, it makes me feel like I'm just viewing it the wrong way, because I'm really enjoying some parts of it. Like, when I did my first co-op mission, I had a moment where, like, I was decked out in my stealth stuff, which stealth in this game generally means you're wearing less clothing, so you look more like a normal person, or you're wearing, like, really soft hoods.
Yeah.
And then when I did stealth, I came up to this guy next to me, and he's just in, like, full body armor with, like, a two-handed warhammer. And then when we got to the 4-player co-op, the guys who were stealthier went to the rooftops, and that guy went down, and he's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna hit on the guys, and then you can go around and open up all the chests and stuff.
He was looking for someone to fuck with. He
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, like, God, yes, this is,
Because
like, the co-op when it works is fucking awesome.
In co-op, my specialty is just shivving dudes. Like,
Yeah, like-
I'll shiv, and I'll use a smoke bomb to get away, and then I'll shiv you again.
Like, the co-op's not perfect because it's pretty easy to fuck up, and, especially fuck up for your entire team and balancing and stuff, but, like, on a very surface level, it's incredible, the idea that everyone can play different types of assassins. Like, if you want to play the Assassin's Creed 4, wield giant hammers and guns and shit and just fight dudes, that's fine. If you want to play the Assassin's Creed 1, never be seen by anybody, you can do that. And you can do that in co-op to achieve the same objective. Like, again, I feel like either people have just either all the technical stuff's completely overshadowed this game, or I'm doing something wrong because I'm enjoying myself with this.
Well, so here's my question: like, have you run into like any of the like big major bugs that people have been talking about, like
there are
falling
two
through the
issues.
fucking world and
I had not encountered melting faces or falling through the world. I imagine those have, for the most part, probably been patched out since it's been 2 weeks. The
We would
two
like
that I
to
have encountered, one of them was much bigger than the other. One I already mentioned, which was schizophrenic cloth physics. That tends to happen. You know, sometimes like I'll just fast travel and then all of a sudden like all the cloth parts of my armor will just start freaking out for a few seconds. And it happens during cutscenes too. What I've encountered was with a much bigger problem. It only happened in co-op, and I saw people on video had this problem. Whereas there's a bug where sometimes you can't attack people, which is weird because like sometimes you'll be in combat and then you'll just hit the unsheath sword button and nothing happens.
Yeah,
That seems to be a common bug to my understanding. Because
I had that a couple times in my playthrough on the PS4. Actually,
did it only happen in co-op for you?
no, it happened a couple times in single player.
Okay. So far, it
Once or twice.
hasn't done single player for me yet, but in co-op,
Where I
it's
would
happened.
hit the draw sword weapon,
Yeah,
draw
nothing happens.
weapon, and wouldn't do it for like a couple of presses.
Yeah. So I've encountered those
Is there any
issues.
frame rate issues? Just out of curiosity.
I am running on high settings with VSync and nothing super crazy on, and I get 60 down to 50 in the crowded areas, like the cathedral in the first test.
Because on the PS4, I've noticed there are like a couple of areas, especially in like the co-op missions, where you can get some noticeable frame rate drops. Nothing unplayable, but definitely unpleasant.
Yeah, co-op, I definitely noticed it more. I think 'cause it's trying to render 4 different people,
Yeah.
all with the same detail as the main character. Yeah, it's kind of weird because I have to imagine the console versions are probably looking better than my PC version, being that they're non-modular.
Yeah.
And running sub 30 is definitely bad because it's never gone below 30 for me. It's gone to like 40, but it's never hit like 15 frames a second because I would definitely notice that. And I have a counter on when I've been playing it just to test it out. But like, fuck, man, it's not the worst Assassin's Creed I've played, and maybe it's just coming off of 4,
Yeah,
maybe
it's
it's
just
the technical stuff, but people seem to be hating this game, and I feel like it's kind of not all right.
It's purely the microtransactions and in the technical stuff that
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
I
that's
haven't noticed the microtransactions
no one
yet.
few people are actually talking about the gameplay by
Yeah.
itself. There are very people that are actually even talking about it.
Like, aside from reviews, the only person I've heard mention it is Jeff Gerstmann from Giant Bomb, who said, like, even if they fix it, it's still a mediocre game. And I would argue that. I think it's better than that. But, like, the microtransactions I haven't really noticed.
I mean, like Assassin's Creed is the kind of thing where at this point you're either fully in it or you're not in it at all.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that
Yeah.
Jeff said he's been waiting forever, and I know that I definitely have a certain perspective where, like, I'm the kind of person who's such a fan that I want this game to be the greatest franchise I've played in a long time.
Yeah.
So it's possible
Like-
that my glasses are a little rose-tinted just because I desperately want this to be
If
amazing.
they keep these assassination missions up the way they have with Unity, I'm going to be really, really happy with
yeah,
future.
if it keeps turning into more Hitman style of just do what you want.
Yeah, like just give me an area, let me play around with it, and
That,
figure out how to kill
Character
people.
customization is good. The weapon loadout stuff. Fix up the co-op a little bit. Tighten that up. You'd have a good game. Next,
I mean,
Assassin's
I think-
Creed.
I think like the other big thing about it, like, you know, even if they fixed all the problems, some people might still think it's mediocre, probably because, like I said, I think I said this last week, where we've played this game 3-4 times
Yeah.
before because they released the damn thing on an annual
And you do get
basis.
that impression. I don't know if you have, Sam, but you do get the
Yeah.
impression after a while that this is familiar territory.
I was going to
Yes.
mention that. I completely forgotten in my, just talking about how much the things I do like, is that the biggest problem with it is that, for lack of a better word, it feels tired at this point. Like,
Yep.
everything about this development feels really, really stressed and tired.
Yeah.
It sucks because, as we said, there's a lot of good things eking out there. The new ideas.
Like, and I like how the combat is actually tough this
Yeah,
time.
the combat's actually, like, different in the sense that, like, enemies can now attack you while you're parrying because of the way the new animations work. So you no longer
Yeah.
have that issue of you parry a guy and they'll just stand there and watch. Because if you parry a guy, it's like Batman, where you can parry and then parry in the middle of a parry and the animation will just sort of break off and start again. So you can't have situations where you'll get, like, 2 parries in a row from dudes, and it feels deadly. Like, you'll go down in a few hits. And
Oh yeah, and bullets they really do
oh
hurt.
god, I got shot in the back once and I just fell to the
Bullets
ground.
hurt in this game.
Yeah.
Like you'll get shot once and you'll lose like half your health.
And granted, I'm not usually a fan of, like, make you as super squishy, but I feel like it works in the sense of if we're trying to make this a stealth game again.
Try to
Make combat super deadly.
An assassin game. If you want to be a combatant, you have to specialize
Yeah.
in combating.
You can
It's-
do
yeah,
that!
it's-
You
it's-
can
it's
build
not-
super amounts of armor, you can buy health upgrades, and you can say, fuck it, I'll just tank everything. But that's not the way
it's
I
not,
want to play.
Yeah, like so the way
Counter
my
and
style,
win.
I have
Counter and win.
Yeah,
because the costumes I use have like a mix between stealth and health.
yeah. Maybe
I don't
that's
have
the
any.
thing,
I
Chris,
don't have
is
any
that,
real like fighting skills, but I have a lot of really good like stealth and health.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, Chris, is it's not perfect, but they have deeply fixed the counter and win mechanic that has plagued that game since 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
You can even argue since 1 actually, because in the
Yeah.
one,
oh
hidden
god,
fake
I forgot about 1.
in 1 the hidden
It
fake
was
counter
so broken.
was an instant kill.
Yeah,
So you could
okay,
like
right.
literally just wait, like have 20 guards fighting you, and you could just
Yeah.
counter them one at a time and kill them
I may have
one
gotten
by
an
one
achievement
by
for killing
one.
100 guys in one fight by doing that. I don't know why I forgot about that. It was actually the most broken in 1. They fixed it in 2
They
and then
did,
broke it again.
and the best thing is they didn't actually tell you that. You had to figure that out on your own.
Yeah. I forgot, though, in 2 they kind of fixed it, and then they kind of broke it again. Because 2 introduced,
Well,
like, the health bars.
Yeah, 2 introduced medicine.
Yeah. Which, that's another good thing. You know, fuck returning health. Use medicine. I like that.
Yeah.
Mostly because I'm kind of getting tired of regenerating health in general. Like, I'm
Although
liking
this is like the
branching off from that
one
idea.
franchise where that makes sense.
Yeah. Like, I played that. The Evil Within doesn't have it. Alien Isolation doesn't have it. Like, it's a good thing to see in games I've been playing. But, yeah, so... Like, I'm not saying... I'm trying to figure out how I'd recommend this game to somebody. It's like, if you're like me, and you love Assassin's Creed everything... You know, I'm not like... I own all the books and all the movies and all that, but me and my friend Nick have been into that series since 1. And we both love it equally in the sense that he likes the art books and the soundtracks, and I like it. So I'm sure he bought this too, and I'm sure he has the same idea of me, where it's like, it's not perfect, but it's a decent Assassin's Creed game. I'd be happier if they got 2 to 3 years apiece,
Yeah.
but it could be a lot worse, and I feel like all the technical stuff is really overshadowing what is a pretty alright, if not pretty good game.
And that's what worries me, is that I'm afraid that Ubisoft's going to look at this and learn the wrong lessons.
Yeah.
They're gonna like learn that going back to the series roots is a bad idea, when what they should have learned is don't do this microtransaction bullshit in a $60 game, and don't focus on these fucking companion apps and social media bullshit that I don't want and don't need.
Before I get my idea, I'm gonna let Chris go, because he's trying to say something.
Well, what I was going to say was, given the fact that, yes, I fucking bought a copy of 3, and I do plan to play through it. And while, you know, I mean, I enjoyed the Assassin's Creed series. I played those games in succession every year that they came out.
Yep.
From the first game all the way up to Revelations. 3 was when I fell off the wagon, and then I didn't touch a single game afterwards. But I've picked it up, and 4 I do plan to get eventually when I have more money to get it. I'm just gonna play it on my PC. I know Brandon has advised me against doing that.
It's
but
much better than it was at launch, as with most PC games.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
thanks to
play
Nvidia instead of Ubisoft.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
What are you talking about again?
Assassin's
one?
Creed 4.
Oh,
Like, Nvidia has basically optimized it themselves, as they do with a lot of games over the course of a year.
Yeah,
it runs better than it used to.
I'm gonna play those. Like, I think going forward from 4 on up, I'm just gonna play them on my PC. With that being said, I think, you know, if Ubisoft wants to keep releasing what is essentially a fucking beta version of the game every year, I'm gonna wait. You know, I'll wait until they do fix it and patch it, and then when it does feel like this is what it fucking should have been at launch, and what most likely at a cheaper price, then I'll buy it.
And going back to that, like, I think I liked both Rogue and Unity for different reasons, but at the same time, I feel like making them both in the same year was a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, is it not just Assassin's Creed Unity, but for a number of games? Is it just me, or does it feel like people are just fucking suckers to buy anything on day one anymore? Like,
there's truth to that.
Like, games are just fucking broken.
Doesn't mean it's a good idea, but I wrote about.
Didn't you just write an article about that, Sam?
Yep, I just wrote an article why I buy games on launch. I say in there it's not a great idea, but I have reasons for doing it.
And granted, I did do that recently when I bought Smash on Wii U.
To be fair, like, it's Nintendo.
Then again, it's Smash. You can be fairly certain that it's going to be at least competently programmed.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess,
like, even if I never go online,
like Nintendo, like even Brawl, even though it had some design decisions that you could question, it was still solidly programmed.
Yeah.
And I think that's the funny thing with Unity, though, is that since I bought it 2 weeks after release, like, I definitely have the thing of, you know, I do have to wonder if I would have all these nice things to say if all I had was these technical issues, like, if that overshadowing problem would happen to me. Because I'd like to think I would still be able to point out the stuff I liked, but I do have to wonder if the technical issues would sour my impression of the overall game. Because without that, like, to me, it plays mostly fine. Like, I experience no more issues than I would on an average game.
And that's the worst part about Unity is that it's actually a really good game, but just marred by technical issues that completely overshadow the game itself. Like, Arnaud is a good protagonist. He's not bad, but he's a decent protagonist.
Yeah,
He's French Ezio.
I expected him to be worse than he was. And he is and he isn't. He definitely has his own personality and his own attitude.
Yeah.
He's a bit more of a... Like...
It's definitely more about Arnaud and Elise
less
than it is
like-
about the Assassins and Templars.
Yeah, he's like less charismatic and a little more aggressive than Ezio, to put it one way.
Yeah.
He definitely has a more stern attitude, whereas Ezio is very playful.
Well,
and
it's
very
weird because like
romantic.
at first he was kind of like Ezio, but then like it's just a dramatic shift in tone.
Yeah, I mean, but as far as Unity and like the fucking franchise, you know, if Ubisoft wants to put out a game every year and fuck it up, that's fine. But if they want to have the fixed version come out 2 to 3 years, then it's like, okay, I'll just wait 2 to 3 years before I buy your fucking game.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Me being ever the optimist, to the point where it's probably a terrible idea to say so, I like to think that if they went as far as to cut the season pass and give it away for free, that would be enough for Ubisoft to go, look, we gotta fucking fix this because we're losing money. You know, like, if Ubisoft only thinks in money, then ideally that they have to give away shit for free means that they're going to heavily reconsider.
Remember, they're a business at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it is about the money.
So that's what I'm saying, though. Even if they only think in money, you would think that since they're losing so much money, that they would say, all right, we got to fix this. But the other thing I was going to say, we were talking about worrying about what it might become, or you saying Ubisoft might learn the wrong lessons. I do worry that they'll see the poor sales of this and not look at the comments like mine that say, no, you're doing really good stuff, it's the technical problems. And I worry that they're going to look at this at a surface level and say, oh, there's what Assassin's Creed 4 again, they want an action game. And I'm like, no! Like, yes, but not
Like, when you go to those assassination missions, they're really, really good.
They're really good, dude. Like, it is, like, Brandon's not kidding, it's fucking Hitman. It is just, here is a box. Do whatever you want in this box. So it's just, I really worry that next year they're just gonna do something like For Rogue, where it's like, alright, well, we made it more actiony, and we decided the characters are gonna be a little more raunchy or whatever, and it's like, that's not what I wanted, though. I don't mind having that series, and maybe like an off-on thing, because then I'd probably just buy Assassin's Creed every other year, but I do worry that they are gonna take this down the wrong direction because of the poor sales of this one. And I worry that Assassin's Creed, like, I feel like it came back to me this year. Like, it finally became the game that I wanted it to be past 2, and I feel like it's going to slip away from me again. And it's just going to go back to the territory of 3 and 4, which is like, it's a good game, but it's not the game I want.
Technically, Ubisoft fucked up too much that now I'm worried.
Yeah, it's going to be a real shame if that happens.
Because this really was the Assassin's Creed that I wanted. Aside from technical issues.
Like, between the character customization and the way that medicine and weapons work and the co-op and the fucking assassinations.
This is the last thing I want to ask, because honestly, I think we should...
This game pisses me off.
Yeah, honestly, I think we could go on about this all night.
I mean, the problem is I'm just restating the same thing over and over, but...
Yeah, but the last thing I want to ask is, if this game maybe had one more year in development, do you think it would have been as fucked up?
No.
No.
Just flat out no.
No.
I mean, look.
Yeah.
In a couple weeks, it's fixed most of the issues.
Well, also, to give you an idea, Far Cry 4 gets 2 years at a time. It got 2 years from 3, and look at that one. Nobody complains about technical issues with that. I haven't experienced any problems. I mean, I think that the problem with 4 is the same problem that Call of Duty had for a little bit, which is just you pump it out with the same team. I think given another year, there'd be technical issues fixed. There'd probably be more character customization. There'll probably still be the microtransactions and all that, but I like to think the co-op would be a little more straightened out or tightened up. There's a weird way to explain it. It feels a little mismatched in places. It feels like it's not all the way there.
Yeah, it's like every publisher wishes that they could just put out something every single year, but with games, especially moving into the next
for that.
Yeah, games, especially moving into the next generation, it's going to take more resources and more time to take advantage of every single thing that you possibly can. You cannot do that dependably at all. And you can't expect consumers to continue to be okay to put out something for $60 that's fucking broken, and then, well, we'll fix it as we go. That's stupid.
That part is definitely inexcusable. And like I said, me and Brandon have already said this several times that, as bad as it is, it's both a shame that that's overshadowing what's a good game, but it doesn't mean it excuses the problem, which is that you can't launch a game like that. Even if, we mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, we think it's really admirable that they're giving out free stuff, but it doesn't fix the initial problem of you're screwing over your customers and saying, oh, well, we're glad you found the problems for us.
Yeah, so they found the problems this time, but are they going to take measures so that they don't do stupid shit like this in the future?
Yeah. So I'm really
if they want to keep Far Cry 4 at $60 for people, they're going to have to.
Wait, for
people get Far Cry 4 for free.
Right.
Unity.
So I'm really curious what Ubisoft next year is going to be. Well, I'm really curious about the crew as far as how that's going to work out technically and the microtransactions and how good of a game it is. But I'm really, overall with Ubisoft next year, again, very optimistic, would like to see that they might learn from this and say, all right, I don't think the Assassin's Creed is ever going to get a year off until that series is almost done. They might do the Call of Duty thing where they split development teams, but I like to see it next year, Assassin's Creed, they'll be like, look, we polished it up, we're pretty damn sure it's going to work, and ideally they're going to be like, we kept rolling with Unity and what that was doing, we hope you enjoy it. Again, I'm always the optimist. I like to think there are good people working at Ubisoft who are really trying to do the best. Even the people who are in it for the money. I like to think that there are some people with good hearts in there who want the best game. So yeah. Fucking... try out Unity sometime. If it goes on sale, check it out.
Yeah.
Especially if you like 1 and 2.
It's a good game. It really is.
I think with that...
Yeah.
we went...
we went.
This is a giant bomb cast.
I think it was just with Unity, I just couldn't stop because I was like, ugh.
You know what? When you finish, we should probably do a Unity spoiler cast.
Yeah, I really want to talk Assassin's Creed with you.
I'll sit on that.
Me and you have the same sort of and you too, Chris. Up till 3, I'd love to hear your thoughts too. I just want to talk Assassin's Creed.
You could probably
overall.
bring Nick in as well. I could probably ask Nick to join us on an Assassin's Creed podcast.
That's such a series that has such highs and lows that almost no other series has. And
like I said last week, they make for very, very fascinating studies into just game design.
Yeah. So I would love to one week definitely talk Assassin's Creed front to back.
I did write a rogue article I posted today about how. No, not impressions.
Oh, the Press Start Discuss article you're talking about?
Yeah. Oh. About how I find out about how interesting it is that Rogue changes up some mechanics to suit the fact that you're now a Templar, not an assassin.
Oh, I gotta read that. But, yeah, so I guess people can look forward to that, because I would love to do that with a bunch of series, but Assassin's Creed definitely, like Brand said, it's a very interesting game to discuss. Yeah. I would love to discuss Assassin's Creed 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, 3, 4... Rogue, Unity.
Because, say what you will about them, they're all worth talking about.
Yeah, Liberation. There's a lot of Assassin's Creed games.
And they each do something really right and something really wrong. Almost all of them do.
Yeah. So, we'll figure that out. I'm sure we can get that together actually relatively sooner than later.
Yeah. Especially since the semester is about to end for most of us.
Yes.
Yes, so I'd love to talk games.
How should we be done with college?
We will hopefully, I'm not going to guarantee anything, but we're going to hopefully put together some kind of Game of the Year award style show.
I think if we do any kind of
game
of the year...
We could do a year in review discussion.
Well, the thing is that I would think we wouldn't do best action, best RPG. It'd be we just choose our own awards and basically just discuss games we played over the year. It'd be very informal.
Yeah.
Best shirtless character in a game.
I just want to do best game you played this year that you totally forgot about afterwards.
I'd have to go through all my impressions articles.
I have to look at my Wikipedia and Steam list together.
The best part of having a website that I talk about things every week is that I have a documentation of all the games I played over the years.
Best game I played and forgot about. I don't remember because I forgot about it.
I haven't written jack shit because I've been writing school projects, but I kind of like my idea. We're just going to come up with our own categories, say fuck it.
I think it's more fun because there's no way in hell we've all played enough games to have our own nominees for every genre out there.
Yeah.
No, or every platform for that matter. But
yeah.
Especially this year in particular, how there weren't a whole lot of new games that I was interested in.
Very
Biggest
negative
fuck
review.
up of 2014.
Oh, that's a long list. Ah. Well, if you stuck around this long, thank you so much. Ran a little bit long, but hope you liked it.
A little bit long, Sam.
Between Persona Q and Assassin's
Just
Creed.
stop. Just stop joking. Just stop joking. Let him end it. Just
let's stop. Just let Hatsune Miku take you over, Brandon.
no.
No.
Bye, everybody.
Hatsune Miku.